You can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth.
What do all men power want? More power.
And now, broadcasting live on GMN from an undisclosed location in the Arizona desert. Italian by birth, American by choice. Songwriter, poet, freedom activist, Lucas Zana with Love, Guns, and Freedom.
All systems go.
Don't tread on us. We're not afraid.
Hi everybody, this is Lucas Zana. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom on KTOX 1340 AM and on Guerrilla Media Network. Now, I say this every Sunday. The reason why I'm here, it is not to entertain you, not to give you some little bit of, happy time while you're driving or you're home, whatever. This is a very serious matter for me. I'm here as a new American because I really believe that this was the country of the free. And don't get me wrong, I love this country. And I know that this country used to be the country of the free. Unfortunately, the last 100 years, it's been taken over. Okay, it has been taken over. And I tell you exactly when happened. 1913, okay, we had the first real official takeover of this country with the creation of the Federal Reserve Act. Now, it's tax time, okay? And my show, the only purpose I have is try to share information. I want you that you do your own verification, you do your researches, and at that point, that would be my goal, to try to give you information that normally no other radio show would like to talk about it. As a new American, I have an oath to fulfill, to defend this republic against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And I really believe that these international bankers, cartel of bankers, and among those, of course, the private Federal Reserve is one of our enemies. And I will prove my case today. I brought with you a special guest, somebody that knows pretty much what's going on and has been studying and proving and doing also is his career, try to defend you from the IRS and the income tax. So today I have with me a man that, like myself, wasn't born here. He came from another country, and he came also with the idea that this country, it is the law, the country of the free. But it is still, that's the story. We'll find out right now. And I have the honor to have with me Mr. Peymon-mottahedeh. Please, Peymon, correct my pronounce of your last name. I'm sure I killed it. Are you there, Peymon?
Yes, I am. That's okay, peymon-mottahedeh, but I prefer people call me Peymon. It's a lot easier for them to say it, Luca. And thanks for having me on your program.
Thank you, Peymon. And Peymon, I was telling you before, I believe that things happen for a reason. I remember in 2005, I stumbled on this DVD called American From Freedom to Fascism by Aaron Russo. I'm sure you're familiar with that, right?
Yes, Aaron Russo was a friend of mine.
Exactly. And then, of course, I started to have a very terrible time. I didn't sleep for 3 nights after I watched that information because I did my homework, and I verified that information. That was all true. And I couldn't believe that right now in America, we are living under the illusion that we are a country pretty much supposed to be, upon the law. I mean, a country under the rule of law. Instead, there was the only law that comes down when there is the income tax is fear and the law of their brute force of the IRS. And there is not really a law. So after watching that documentary, I went to a meeting in Phoenix. There were different guests, among those also Joe Bannister, former IRS agent, and you were there. And you gave me an incredible package that I still have, and the information that for me was like life-changing information, okay? So I wanted to thank you for your work, for trying to educate the rest of us, and that's why today you're here, because I would like to pretty much give this opportunity to the listeners to have a different angle of the information. Premise: I'm not here to give any legal advice, and more important, I'm telling you, all I'm sharing with you today, it's an information that I pretty much would like consider just as information. It's up to you what you want to do with it. If you want to verify it, if you want to go deeper, and I'm not telling you that you're supposed not to pay the income tax, because even if there is no law, at that point, it's your pretty much decision if you want to go against these mobsters. They are worse than mobsters. The mobsters, I think they have more class. Anyway, Peymon, you have the floor. Who is Peymon? And what is the president, what is the school, the Freedom Law School that you represent? You are the president of the school. Tell me a little bit about you, your professional background, and your school.
Sure, Luca. I'm an immigrant from Iran, raised in a Jewish family. I came here at the age of 14 in 1977. Believing, thinking that I came to land of the free and home of the brave. And unfortunately, I found myself in the land of the meek and the home of the indentured. Americans don't seem to know what's going on. In Iran, the Shah of Iran was a king, was a dictator, and he censored the news media, so you could not hear the truth. And of course, he owned the political system and the power. So with the combination of having the political power and control of the media, he practically controlled the people. And so I found that in America, unfortunately, it's the same thing. We have here the big banks and corporations, namely the top five are Chase, Bank of America, Citi, Goldman Sachs, and Wells Fargo. Those big five are the prime owners of the New York Federal Reserve Bank, the privately owned Federal Reserve Bank of New York, the main of the Federal Reserve banks. And they make money out of thin air, these New York banks and Wall Street, and lend it out to government and to the people, to the corporations at interest. It's like a monopoly game that they are you can say the banks are the exclusive creators of the money and lend it out to everybody at interest. And with that process of sucking the interest out of us, they're sucking the wealth of America. They're becoming richer. We're becoming continually poorer and poorer. And the Federal Reserve the money issue is a bigger issue, but the income tax is a symptom of it. In that this key aspect of the Communist Manifesto, which is part of the 10 planks of Karl Marx's Communist Manifesto, has been in America since 1913 as well.
Exactly.
And my own brother, who went to Communist China about 5 years ago, married a Chinese, lives there. He makes, as a foreigner, wages there, and he pays zero income taxes in China.
Wow.
So they call themselves communists, but those seem to be communists, and we seem to be the real communists here, because in America we've adopted the idea that the community, the society, the government must provide for everybody. You got socialism, you got communism. Of course, we have a communism for the rich. The banksters, they're the ones that get bailed out. It was the big banks that got bailed out, when the Great Depression started in 2008. And so I heard the income tax is voluntary, and I just couldn't believe that. Well, if that's voluntary, why are people volunteering? Mm-hmm. Well, after having been proven to me by law that truly there is no law that requires the average ordinary American to file and pay the federal income tax, then a few years later I discovered that the reason is because the government is corrupt at all three levels, including the judiciary.
Yes.
They don't want to upset the apple cart. We know in Iran we had these corrupt political courts who would not uphold the Iranian constitution and laws and would go with the political establishment of Shah of Iran to just get rid of people that they didn't like. In America, the judges are supposed to be the last bulwark of against tyranny. A separation of powers doctrine, that there's supposed to be a veto upon the other two branches, encroachment on our rights, but they're not doing that job, unfortunately. The judges are themselves political creatures who, in order to get further up the political power chain of judgeship, all up to Supreme Court, they must go along and get along and not upset the apple cart of the money revenue source of the United States government. So there exists a judicial conspiracy to protect and preserve the money system of this country, the Federal Reserve, the new corrupt system, and the new corrupt income tax system as well, because those are two pillars of the power structure that is out there. So that's what I've been exposing now since 1992.
Now, question, Peymon. First of all, I would like to give this, let's say the average listener listening to me probably already knows a lot, but I would like to reach out people that they're new, okay? People that they for the first time say, what are you talking about? You are not a patriot. You are not a good American. You don't want to give your fair share. Wait a second. Guys, please stop for a moment, have an open mind. We'll bring you facts right now, and then we'll go from there, and then you decide what you want. Let's start from history. Before 1913, Peymon, what really was going on in America? Did we have an income tax or not? I mean, the point is, what exactly does this income tax? Does it goes to any type of service or goes to pay just the debt to this private cartel of banks called the Federal Reserve?
Well, the income tax goes to the general fund of the U.S. Treasury and pays for everything. Wars, corporate welfare bailouts, Social Security, interest on the debt, to Federal Reserve and others. So the money does go in the general fund. That's not the issue. The issue is that the whole system is a fraud. Let me tell you about the income tax, for example, because people right now are wondering, are they required to file an income tax? Well, I ask people to get I want your listeners to go get the last year's 1040 income tax IRS confession form that they filed and go look at the 1040 form they signed. They will notice that above where they signed their name and date, it says that I declare, I mean the people who signed it, the listeners, each one of them, sign a piece of paper that they said, I declare under penalty of perjury that all the statements in this form are true, correct, and complete. Now, people say, well, so what's the big deal about that? I didn't lie. Well, of course, no one says anybody lies, but people don't know what the word penalty of perjury means because they're not going to law school. Well, penalty of perjury means you're swearing to that piece of paper, same as if you were in a court of law before a judge and a jury. You're swearing that's all true, correct, and complete, and you can go to prison, you can be jailed, if everything is not completely true or correct or complete. You miss a little something, you can go to prison for it. One little mistake, you can go to prison for it. If you make one claim of exemption or deduction or expense that you can prove, the government can say you made it up, you lied. You cannot prove that expense or deduction was correct because you don't have the records that you should have had, and therefore you must be lying, and there you go to jail.
Yes.
People don't realize that's what they're doing, and they can go to jail for 3 to 5 years for each tax return.
Wow.
That they have this kind of a mistake on. 3 to 5 years each. In other words, if the IRS doesn't come after people usually for 1 year of mistake, they usually come after people for 3 to 5 years of same kind of mistake to show a pattern that you've done the same thing repeatedly.
Yes. So
if you're looking at 4 years, you're looking at maybe going to jail about maybe 20 years, up to 20 years of prison.
Wow.
You know, because some little mistake. And it's not the accountant that's going to go to jail. It's not the CPA who advised you. It's not H on our blog who prepared that return for you, or even the TurboTax, whatever computer software that you use. It's not them that's going to go to prison. You are.
Now, I have a question. You know, I'm still learning, of course. First of all, I'd like to give the basic logic, okay? 1913, President Wilson pretty much sold us out in the middle of the Christmas night with pretty much an absent Congress that was pretty much all gone on vacation for the holidays, to this private cartel, creating this Federal Reserve that is the federal as express. This is not a federal part of the government; it's completely private, even maybe federalized or whatever. But the point is, not even in the yellow pages does even go under the government. Okay, now from that moment, to keep it simple, okay, this is just my basic former immigrant explanation. Okay, every time the government needs the dollar, instead them printing it as a sovereign government, okay? Let's say America used to print their own money backed by gold and silver, okay? Now instead we go to this cartel of bankers and we put ourselves on our knees, say please print a dollar. By the way, right now it's not even anymore printed. It is pretty much all digital, as you said, out of thin air. with no backing of gold or silver or nothing. And at that point, they give us this check, and then we gotta pay them back with the interest, just because now they are pretty much like gods. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that right?
You said it correct.
Okay.
You're absolutely right up every statement you said.
Now, guys, listeners, even if you think, that this income tax is going to some good service and we need to pay our fair share, let's say for a moment you have that type of mentality, okay, that's fine. Why do we need to pay a third party, a bunch of bankers that they're laughing at us, and they took over this government and given that type of sovereign power to print money out of thin air and then charge us the interest? Why don't we do it this as America? Ourselves, so maybe we don't need to pay all this interest, because now every time we borrow $1, it's $1 of debt. It's impossible pretty much to win that situation. It's going to always be on debt. So that's the first thing I would like to start to share with people. The Federal Reserve is not federal, it's private, okay? And every time we used to go back to them, we pretty much go in bondage. Now, there was a commission, 1984, it's called the Grace Commission report under Ronald Reagan, okay? This commission, correct me if I'm wrong, because I may be wrong, but I'm just reading the official commission here, showed that the IRS, pretty much, every dollar that we pay from our income tax, yes, it goes to the general fund, as you were saying. But the point is, all it does, our income tax, goes to pay the interest on the debt. And that pretty much there is all the waste and dispersion, and nothing really goes to the services. Am I right or wrong? This was a commission under Ronald Reagan, that pretty much the Grace Commission. What do you think about that?
Yeah, the Grace Commission, what he found out is that the interest on the debt was so large, just interest that we're paying is so large that it equals approximately all the income taxes collections. That's how large interest on the debt was. Mm-hmm. So, and right now interest rates are extremely low, and yet still the interest payments on the debt is over $400 billion a year, and at these record low interest rates.
Oh my
if interest rates go up higher, because the dollar starts losing its value, and it is going to lose its value, it's only a matter of time, it will lose its reserve currency status. That means that the dollar is just going to lose value very rapidly. Interest rates will go up in America. There will bring a lot more unemployment in America. At the same time, we have inflation. Imported goods from China, other places at Walmart will cost a lot more. So people need to realize that our situation is serious, and we got to do something about it as soon as possible.
Now, here you come. You woke up. You were like myself, a former immigrant. We had, the courage to at least look at the truth, because I understand, coming from outside, we come with the idea that, we really came here with thinking that we were free, and don't get me wrong. I know that this country was the freest place more than any other country in the world. But unfortunately, we lost that freedom, and now we're living in the illusions of the past. So it's our duty to try to get it back and fight it back. Now, exactly what do you offer as a president of Freedom Law School? What do you do exactly? What do you do for people? What is your service that you offer?
Well, when I started in 1996, after a couple of years of teaching to my local group with a couple of the people, a little bit we knew about the Constitution and the law and our rights and income tax, I kept this classes going, and in 1996, I formally started Freedom Law School. Our website is livefreenow.org. And I dedicated the school to those people who are committed to living a free life and to help the American people free themselves of this modern-day slavery that we've been put into. So what I started doing is first start teaching Americans about the law and the rights, because they need to know what's going on. And I always tell everybody, tell all your listeners, do not believe me, do not believe the government, or believe anybody on the Internet. I always invite people to look up and verify things for themselves on the Internet. So the courses I offer are come with a money-back guarantee, because this is what they should have had. Everybody coming out of high school before their turn 18 as an adult facing the world. So, but after doing that for many years, people increasingly asking me, hey, Peymon, I need help. I need to get this government IRS off of my bank. Could you assist me? Could you help me? Because they're just really hurting me. So in 2001, I started programs that included education, but I also provided assistance, support, Constitution, and I helped them write the letters for them, the responses to government letters, as well as getting them all involved into political action to write to our representatives in government to properly execute the Constitution and stop this illegal application of the income tax on the average ordinary Americans.
Now, did you have your personal, I'd like to ask you something more direct. How is your relationship with the IRS? Did you get harassed? These people, they got you on the list. I mean, this is not something that you play with like you think you have no consequences. For example, do you file your 1040, if I can ask you?
I don't, in my life, I've never filed a 1040 income tax confession form, except with my ex-wife back in the 80s twice. I filed on her return. She said for her to get more refund back. And then one time we got audited, and which was totally fraudulent. I provided all the documentation. The IRS still came up with some numbers against me because it could. And the other time she got the levy on a paycheck out of nowhere. IRS teacher up her paycheck out of nowhere.
Wow.
That was a consequence of me filing with her. And then I'll file one more time back in 1993, filed some an uninformed patriot's advice to file 1040, and I did. And that got me in trouble with the IRS also. So I haven't filed since then. Of course, IRS doesn't like that. I talk about this stuff publicly. And I'm on their hit list.
Wow.
Been at it since 1993. I've been on IRS's hit list, over 20 years. And as of 3 years ago, they told me that they have over 8,000 pages of files on me.
Wow.
Like a communist dossier of communist KGB. And
wow.
a former Soviet Union, you would think.
Now, wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. Now, question. Are you a lawyer? What exactly your degree? I mean, the service that you offer, you're a consultant? Are you a lawyer? Are you a professor? What exactly are you?
Well, I'm not a member of the bar. I'm not an attorney.
Okay.
I got my bachelor's degree in business administration from the California State University.
Okay.
And then when I got interested in all this law stuff in 1992, and I didn't want to borrow from the government or banks to go to school. And my father wasn't doing well anymore, unfortunately. He was hurt financially after the Iranian Revolution. And I just wanted to go into debt to the government, so I just taught myself the law. I did not go to formal law school, but learn about law. And within less than a year, an attorney friend of mine, a libertarian attorney, and a friend of mine who's a libertarian and finished law school, they both told me, Peymon, you seem to know already more about the income tax, these issues, that we know.
Okay, perfect. So
I was quite amazed that, how it is that, these lawyers in America are taught so little about the Constitution and our rights in our law schools. That what totally amazed me.
I'm not an expert. I used to study in Italy to become a lawyer. I stopped when I decided to leave pretty much to come here. All I know that not because you have a law degree, that means that you know the law. I mean, especially when you are part of the board, you will conform with pretty much what the system says. And if you really want to learn laws, and laws that normally they don't even apply anymore under the Constitution, you must pretty much do your own homework like you've been doing. The reason why I'm asking you this one, because, this show, first of all, we're not giving any type of legal advices. We're just sharing information. That's the bottom line. But I wanted to also, let people know more about your past, exactly how you created your knowledge. That's my goal. Now, question is, what happens, what is your opinion? Let's put it this way, since we're not giving advices. If the average American out there say, listen, what should I do? I mean, I know that this income tax supposedly is a fraud. But first of all, why is it a fraud? How can we prove that? How can we prove that the income tax is a fraud? I mean, I know that there is a lot of information that probably 1 hour is not enough, but what let's say a few minutes, if you want to make your case in front of the jury of the people, how can we prove that the income tax is a fraud? So people say, maybe I shouldn't pay the income tax.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's very simple. Since 1999, I've offered a $300,000 income tax reward and 3 $100,000 questions. And I've had many IRS meetings about me in Freedom Law School to spy on me, to try to get me, and they know about this reward. They never attempted to collect it. I've had up to 8 Irish agents, the managers, and lawyers, and a lawyer's manager get together to conspire against Freedom Law School. Yet none of them attempts to claim any of this reward. Here's the first one. The first one is, how can you file a 1040 income tax confession form without you giving up your Fifth Amendment guaranteed constitutional right not to have the government use it against you to put you in prison? Because you see, if O.J. Simpson and all the suspected murderers, they have a right to be silent and don't say anything that could be used against them, why don't you? As a citizen, you have the same right when it comes to paying taxes. You shouldn't have to say anything at all whatsoever. You remain silent. But the fact that you're being forced to file a 1040 form, to give up your Fifth Amendment, tells you right there that you cannot be forced, because you're not forced. They're just duping you into filling out the form, because they could not do so without violating your Fifth Amendment guaranteed right to be silent, like O.J. Simpson has.
Exactly.
So that's one.
Okay.
Now, and if you look on the 1040 income tax booklet that people sign, they'll see there's the Privacy Act notice. They give this people the warning that the government says on the 1040 form that the information you give to them, the IRS may share with local, state government authorities and even foreign governments. Because you gave it to government voluntarily, now they may share, the IRS may share it with foreign governments and local and state authorities. See? Because you give it to them voluntarily.
Yes. Now, the point...
Second,
go ahead.
And the IRS knows about this.
Yes.
And I said, look, tell me how I can file a 1040 without giving my Fifth Amendment right to be silent, and no government lawyer, employee who's seen my website, many of them have seen it, and spied on me, none of them comes and show me the answer. Why not?
Wow. The point is, you're completely right, and the logic is there. I mean, we have a Fifth Amendment or not. But then, I know that there are people that pretty much went to jail because all you have to go to the wrong judge, as you were saying before. The system is corrupted. I mean, there was Wesley Sniper, I think, did he go to jail for not filing, or did he file?
He did go for a few years because he followed the misadvice of a guy named Eddie Kane, who had him put some false papers with the government. He tried to get some money back from the IRS, but finally got under oath. Papers were just wrong. That's why he went to jail. He sent paperwork under oath to the government that they used against him. That was how they came after him.
Okay. Now, among your cases, you have a lot of people that you've been helping during the years. And correct me if I'm wrong, one of your cases, one of your students, I guess, was a former IRS agent that pretty much became almost the poster child to expose the IRS crimes. His name is Joe Bannister. Am I correct?
Yes.
Can you pretty much tell a little bit about his story briefly? Because I think this is important. This guy is not just a regular guy. This guy used to work for the devil. So tell a little bit what happened to him.
Well, Joe Bannister, he's a IRS criminal investigation division agent back in the mid to late 1970s, and then he hears on a radio program that income tax is voluntary. Well, this guy's given a gun. He's packing heat, to arrest people. And he puts several people in jail over taxes. He's thinking, well, if there's no law requiring people to file income tax, why would they give me a gun? Why do I do what I do? It's just preposterous. But because the radio show host that he was hearing in San Francisco Bay Area was he very much respected, he looked into the information, called the guest, and got the educational material of the guest. And a booklet, it referred to a man named Bill Conklin, who he called, and Bill Conklin told him to call me. And when he called me, I told him, look, I'll verify everything for you. You verify everything for yourself. I give you all the cooperation. You check it out for yourself. And he did.
Wow.
This man, a former IRS special agent, checked out everything we told him. The leaders of the freedom movement told him. He found out we were telling the truth. And then what he did, he wrote a book about the subject and gave it to the IRS. The book is called Investigating the Federal Income Tax, and asked the IRS to refuse findings, to refute this conclusion that there is no law requiring the average person to file and pay the federal income tax. And he gave that book to his manager, the head of the Criminal Investigation Division of the IRS's office in San Jose, California, who sent out to Washington, D.C. And he went to the headquarters of the Criminal Investigation Division section of the IRS. And when the response came back, Mr. Joe Bannister's manager told him, I was told to give this to you. Here, say this. He was directed from the headquarters of Washington, D.C. of the IRS, which basically said, we're not going to respond to your request, your demand, that we show that, your book is wrong, how and why the average American is required to file income tax. Okay, and you're given a week off to think about it, and if you don't want it, you don't like it, you can just leave, get out of here, get out of the IRS. Here, Mr. Joe Bannister thought that he's supposed to report fraud. He's supposed to report abuse of power. Things that are being done wrong. This, he was told by the Commissioner of Internal Revenue himself, about their own regulations, about their own procedures. And he was doing exactly that. I thought, hey, the law has been misapplied, yet he's told us to leave. We're not going to answer you. So he resigned.
Wow.
And then the IRS, several years later, after Mr. Joe Bannister, he stopped filing and paying income tax himself. They tried to put him in jail.
Yeah.
And the Commissioner of Internal Revenue, when they spoke about him publicly and said Joe Bannister was the IRS agent, he knew what he was doing. And you know what?
Mm-hmm.
The IRS never charged Mr. Joe Bannister with a so-called crime of not having filed and pay their federal income tax.
Wow.
Because they knew he would have shown the jury that, look, I was one of them. I asked the government, I demanded that they show me the law that required me and the average American to file an income tax. I was out to leave. And the jury would say, well, how come the government didn't come show the employee whose job is to put people in jail over income taxes, the law he's supposedly enforcing?
Wow.
They never did so. They never charged him with that crime. Of course, the other bogus tax charges that came after him, he was acquitted of. He was found not guilty. He found innocent by the jury. And so this goes to show, folks, this government is out of control. We no longer have in America a government by, of, and for we the people, as the U.S. Constitution says. We have a government of, by, and for the big banks and corporations who fund the election advertising campaign of politicians, especially the leadership of both parties, as well as in all the major media in this country. They own it. ABC, CBS, NBC, CNN, Fox, New York Times, all the major magazines and newspapers in America are owned by the same group of people. No different than Shah of Iran, no different than communist Soviet under Joseph Stalin, where they control the media and they control the political system. We're in the same boat. The difference is we still have the right of free speech on radio programs like yours, and it's our job, Luca, it's my job, your job, to expose all this, wake up the American people to get our country back. It smells, you know it smells, you know something is wrong. We got to get them off. So I invited all of them to go to our website at livefreenow.org. Check out this information, and if they request it, we'd be happy to send them a free freedom, information, education package. As many as they want for themselves, their friends, family members, neighbors, co-workers. Get this information out. Let's get America educated, awakened, and get our country back to we the people once again.
Very good. Very well said. This is so important. You say exactly right. We are living right now in a false illusion of freedom. And there was, I think, a German writer, Goethe, that said, none are more hopelessly enslaved than those who falsely believe they are free. We think we are free, but the truth is, guys, after we realize that we're living under National Defense Authorization Act, and when you'll find out, and I really challenge you to do this research and prove me wrong, get the package from my friend here, and also watch the video that I told you many times, that this documentary, Freedom to Fascism, by Aaron Russo, and do your researches. And when you realize that all these years, we've been paying income tax, and when you find out there is no law, and the only law is because we've been said so, we've been told so, and more important, we are afraid. That's the bottom line. You will realize that at that point you have two options. One, just to ignore it because you're too afraid to face the truth. And I understand many of you say, what am I going to do now? You say probably you were just trying to ignore it. And maybe you will try also to fight us just because we are trying to bring you to the facts. And that the way may be, you know what? You got to do your duty as an American, understanding that this republic is being taken over by globalist international bankers, and that 1913 is a historical date of the takeover of this country when the private Federal Reserve took control of issuing the currency of America. And then together we can start to share this information and take it back through the political process. And meanwhile try to defend our assets and our lives with people like Peymon. They can help us out, try to give us some help. Now, Peymon, I'm still under shock a little bit, by the way, because, every time I talk about this, it's kind of remind me what happened to my mind in 2005 when I started to learn all this for the first time, Now, what exactly, if somebody wants to contact you, you said the website. Do you have also a phone number? People can reach you out to your office?
They can call us at area code 813-444-4800 or go to our website at livefreenow.org. Make their request that way. But I want to say something important about your callers. You said, many of your callers are probably afraid. They want to say, I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to make waves.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? The very fact, listener, that you are afraid, you just admitted that we no longer have a government by, of, and for we the people. You just admitted by your fear that the government has been hijacked and taken over by these big, powerful bankers and their moneyed interests.
Yes.
So that there's more reason why you should act. You should do something. You know it. Your conscience know it. How can you sit there, listen to this information, and do nothing? How can you listen to this information, don't say nothing about it to your wife, to your husband, to your brothers, sisters, and more importantly, to your children? How can you sell your children down the river just because you have some fear you will not use your First Amendment about our free speech, and you not will tell nobody about it? At the very least, get this information and share it with other people. Let the truth be said. They cannot put you in jail for merely sharing educational information. Get this speech with Joe Barrister, this former IRS agent, on IRS, on CD. We're sending you for free. And get it out to your children. Get it out to anybody you know. Hey, just listen and educate. You have to do nothing. At the minimum, just listen and educate others. How can you not do that part? Because if you don't, you are becoming a tool of the big banks and corporations who take over America by simply doing nothing. You let them win. So do what you want and need to do. Call Freedom Law School. Get this free Freedom of Information education package and share it with as many people as you can.
Perfect. And if you have any video that you would like me to upload, what I will do on today's show on my website, lovegunsfreedom.com, on today's show, I will post a permanent link, first of all, to your website. And more important, if you have any video that could be, we can upload on YouTube or whatever, I can put a link so everybody can start to do your own research. As I said, guys, this is not something I'm going to give you advices. I'm not here to advise anything. I'm just want to share information that normally you would never be able to find on the regular station or maybe on the radio stations. Now, why am I doing this? Because I really believe that we are living in the illusion that we are free, and more important, it's my duty as a new America to defend this republic. This republic pretty much is being killed. It's dying right now. And we're living in the illusion of that is still the land of the free. It is not. My friend, you came from an oppressive government, like even my family, during World War II under Mussolini and the Germans and all the stuff. I mean, it's hard for Americans to believe that this is happening here, but it is really happening. And more important, I wish it wasn't true. But at that point, I would like to remind everybody, the National Defense Authorization Act. Peymon, are you familiar with that?
Absolutely. The passes law that the government can label anybody basically a terrorist, and based upon them doing so, they can, after labeling you as such, go and pick you up, arrest you without notifying your friends or family members, put you in jail without a lawyer, without seeing a judge, indefinitely.
Yes.
Because some government official labeled you as a terrorist, basically. I mean, that is in a complete violation of everything American. And worse than that, I think, that, Obama has given himself the power. He did this a few years ago. He murdered. He actually openly admitted he murdered, assassinated American citizens abroad who were simply speaking up against U.S. government policies because he labeled them as terrorists. Well, that's like Joseph Stalin,
yes,
the communist Soviet Union. They're doing it now. And NSA has surveillance powers, better than any KGB in the Soviet Union or East German Nazi ever dreamed of. With all your calls, internet, everything is recorded, and they can, against you, if they use it against you. Now, if that's not the ultimate police state dictatorship, what is?
Exactly. And this is prove exactly the point. That's why I think it's so important. Now it's put all in perspective. Now every one of us, just because we are exercising our First Amendment, and more important, we are bringing facts and evidence. We're not even just saying whatever, but still we have a First Amendment. We could be labeled domestic terrorist, and at that point, we could just disappear. This is exactly like it happened in every dictatorship. Mussolini, the black shirts, Hitler, the brown shirts, in Chile, Pinochet, and you had, in Iran, you had the secret police from the Shah. I mean, exactly right now here. Why don't you want to face it, America? Why don't you want to admit it? This is real. Now, just because it's not happening to you, you think you have nothing to fear because you think you're a good person. Doesn't matter. First of all, can happen to any one of us. And more important, now we are before pre-Magna Carta. Think about it. The king in 1215 said, before I can put you in jail or I can arrest you or kill you, I need to prove that you've done something wrong. You must have a due process. Now we are before that age. We are back into the dark ages. Not even China, I think, has that. At least they give you a phony trial and they shoot you in the back. You do not disappear completely. Anyway, so that's pretty much my point. And now, income tax, yes, is something we need to pretty much talk about it, and we need to learn. And the Federal Reserve must be exposed, because it's not federal at all. And guys, let's not forget the basics. Before 1913, we had roads, we had the army, we had everything we needed, and we were prosperous, and we were not in debt. What happened after 1913? We got pretty much conquered by this cartel of international bankers. I want to thank you again, Peymon. You've been inspiring for me. Your magic package that you gave me the day when I met you in Phoenix in 2006, I guess was, at that meeting. I brought it with me. I studied more, and I say something. I try to share this information with as much people as I can. That's why today I was thinking about you. Since I have this radio station, I wanted to do what I could to give the people the opportunity to reach you out. I'll give you the floor for the last 3 minutes, whatever you want to say.
Well, what I want to say is that, Luca, we don't have to worry about telling people we're not giving them legal advice. Folks, what I'm telling you is in my opinion, the truth. Okay? But I'll tell you this. You need to check out the ideas for yourself anyhow. Again, don't believe me, the government, or anybody on the internet. You read for yourself. And that's the problem. A lot of Americans don't like to read, don't read, or semi-illiterate. And the elitists, the banksters that control America, they treat us, they think we're a bunch of cows, bunch of sheep who can't read or refuse to read. Folks, if you don't read, if we don't educate ourselves, how are we different from animals? Animals cannot read. Animals cannot know what's going around them. You are better than an animal. You can read. So my invitation to our listener is, take your time to show these banksters that you're not a sheeple. You're not just a cow. You can read, you can think, and then you can act based upon knowledge. So do it philosophically as a source to get you the answers, the truth that you are looking for. Go to our website at livefreenow.org and make your free freedom information education package request there, and call us 8813-444-4800.
Perfect. I have a song I'm going to play right now, and I dedicate this song to you and to Aaron Russo, to Joe Bannister, and to anybody else out there who is not afraid to seek the truth. The song is called Show Me the Law, and I wrote this song exactly after I watched for the first time the documentary by Aaron Russo, Freedom to Fascism. And this is for you, my dear friend. I dedicate it to you. Okay? Thank you very much. And don't go away, guys, because we have more news coming on, and we're going through into the second hour, and you're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna on KTOX 1340 AM.
We know that the Federal Reserve is a private corporation. We know in 1913 you stole our nation. We know the 16th Amendment was never ratified. What are we waiting for? Let's stand up and fight. Show me the law, show me the law. We know that you're just a fraud. Show me the law that doesn't exist. This time we will resist. Show me the law, show me the law. The IRS has got to go. Show me the law, don't show me your guns. We're not afraid, we won't run. Like a parasite, we live off our lives. Mr. Aaron Russo, yes, he was right. Where in the Constitution did you ever read they can tax our labor till we bleed? Show me the law, show me the law. We know that you're just a fraud. Show me the law that doesn't exist. This time we will resist. Show me the law, show me the law. The IRS has got to go. Show me the law, don't show me your guns. We're not afraid, we won't run. you're just a fraud. Show me the love that doesn't exist, and this time we'll resist. Show me the love, show me the love. The IRS has got to go. Show me the love, or show me your guns. We're not afraid, we won't run.
And that was Show Me the Law. Music and lyrics by myself. I wrote that song, after I watched that documentary that I would like you watch too, please. You can also watch it for free on YouTube. It's called America From Freedom to Fascism by Aaron Russo. And guys, just to let you know, this show is an act of love, seriously. I'm doing this one, this type of information, it is not a game. You know, you talk about the IRS, you talk about truth, things that really they don't want you to know. I mean, I'm not saying that I may be killed tomorrow morning, but that's not even the point. The point that there are persecutions, prosecutions, harassments. You have no idea what can be happening. And I am aware of it. And I'm not a big shot. I'm a regular guy, okay? But at the same time, I really mean it. You know, if this is for me, it's a duty. Bringing this information to you after I learn what I think is true, after I find out the information that I found, I cannot keep it for myself. I need to share it with you. It is my duty as a new American. Before you start to get maybe called, I don't know, irritated, you think I'm just trying to bring fear or other things, just do your research. That's all I'm saying. At the same time, I'm here doing my best. And seriously, the show, it is for me an act of love. It doesn't really bring me anything. I'm not getting rich. I'm not getting paid. This is something I do as an act of love. My time here is free. All I'm asking, if you want to help me out, to keep doing, we have cost, okay? We have cost, website, streaming and things, everything. Just go to my website. And I don't even want you to donate. I don't want donations. I want that you help me out just purchasing and downloading any of my songs. With just 99 cents, for example, you can download this song, Show Me the Law, that I wrote as a message, as I wrote as a tool to spread this information, or at least to put the keywords out in the people's brain to start to do their own researches. Download Show Me the Law for 99 cents. And then I give you my blessing to put it on YouTube, to share with your friends, to do whatever you can to wake up your fellow Americans. That's all I'm saying. I'm doing my part. I hope you listeners can help me out doing your part. I'm not asking for much. If you can donate, I don't want donation. I want your support. And the best way you can do it, just go to my website, www.zanna.us. This is not the government. The government doesn't ask you, extorts from you. Like NPR. When you listen to NPR, I don't think it's free. They're stealing your tax dollar. Do you want it or not? That's so wrong. Think about it. Broadcasting station that pretty much uses your tax dollar for their political agenda. No, this is a free radio in every way. We are free on the internet, and I'm still free on KTOX 1340 AM. And that's how I want to thank this station to give me the opportunity to broadcast my message. As I said, we may not agree many times on many issues, but the point is I have complete freedom here and pretty much nobody tell me what I can say or not. We just comply with FCC rules. That's it. And I'm telling you, to talk about the IRS, the income tax, and if there is a law or not that you should pay the income tax, not very many stations would let you do that, especially going deep like we are doing here. This is not just some sort of, conversation in front of a cup of coffee, and they just talk. No, we're talking about activism. We're talking about to try to take back this country, especially now in this new America with a K. I could disappear tomorrow morning. Seriously. You may have never heard from me anymore. Maybe many of you would say, great, thank you. Guess what? Tomorrow can happen to you too. Okay, you may disagree with me or not, that's fine. That's not the point. The point that we are living under fascistic regime. I told you before many times, and I'm never going to get tired to remind you, we're living under the National Defense Authorization Act and under the Patriot Act. Just those two laws, supposed to be now the law of the land. That's enough to let you know that we are living under tyranny. I could disappear, never hear from me anymore, and I'm aware. I'm doing this knowing exactly what I'm doing. I'm not a hero, I'm not a big shot. I'm a regular human being, but I have dignity. And the dignity is here that I cannot live in eternity thinking about my cowardice, because whatever I'm doing in this life is going to be pretty much reverberating in the infinite of my eternity. I cannot do this. So I need to here stand up with you, try to at least warn you. That's what I'm trying to say. And I would like to live in this life in liberty, in freedom, in peace. And if I'm going to die first, that's fine. But I hope who comes after me will have a chance to live again in the America that our founding fathers fought and died for. Okay? That's my point. That's what I'm saying. So, now, don't go away because we have an exciting second hour. This first hour was about freedom. I tried to bring you all this information about the income tax. Peymon was a great guest. I love him as a brother in freedom. And now the second hour is going to be guns, training. We need to be trained. We need to be law-abiding citizens who knows how to defend ourselves, our family, and our freedom. And I will bring you an incredible guest that pretty much will give you the best information about rifles. And then maybe I will talk a little bit about what I was talking last Sunday to continue the conversation about the shotgun.
He's a songwriter, a poet, a rifleman.
I'm not afraid.
And a constitutional activist.
I'm not afraid.
Italian by birth.
I'm not afraid.
American by choice. Gianluca Zanna.
I'm not afraid.
And his new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom. 16 powerful songs on one CD from the heart of a patriot. For download or to order the CD, go to www.lovegunsfreedom.com. That's www.lovegunsfreedom.com. Lyrics for your mind, music for your heart. Gianluca Zanna's new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom.
Have you ever met someone on an online dating site and thought, wow, this guy is perfect for me, or she is simply amazing, only to find out they were hiding a deep, dark secret? They plan to vote for Hillary. FreedomLovers.us was created for singles who want to exchange ideas and a love for freedom. People who are looking for solutions to create and defend freedom in the real world, and at the same time getting that once-in-a-lifetime chance to find their true soulmate. Whether you are interested in meeting your soulmate, making new friends, networking, or hanging out with that like-minded liberty lover, visit FreedomLovers.us. It's the first free dating site and community. So patriots, don't waste your time with other dating sites. FreedomLovers.us is the place where like-minded singles really click.
You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Gianluca Zanna on Guerrilla Media Network. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Gianluca Zanna on Guerrilla Media Network. Hi everybody, this is Luca Zanna. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom on KTOX 1340 AM and on Guerrilla Media Network. This is the hour that we talk normally about guns. And today we will talk about the AK-47, specifically with the pro, a guy that he wasn't born exactly here like myself, but now he's an American, and I think he has one of the most exciting websites and YouTubes, pretty much everything about AK-47. So, don't go away, you're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. Call your friends and we are ready to go in 60 seconds.
Have you ever met someone on an online dating site and thought, wow, this guy is perfect for me, or she is simply amazing, only to find out they were hiding a deep, dark secret? They plan to vote for Hillary. freedomlovers.us was created for singles who want to exchange ideas and a love for freedom. People who are looking for solutions to create and defend freedom in the real world, and at the same time getting that once-in-a-lifetime chance to find their true soulmate. Whether you are interested in meeting your soulmate, making new friends, networking, or hanging out with that like-minded liberty lover, visit freedomlovers.us. It's the first free dating site and community. So patriots, don't waste your time with other dating sites. freedomlovers.us is the place where like-minded singles really live.
Okay, I'm back here, and I have it here with me today. Chamber check, mag check, the gun is empty, and right now we have, first of all, the guest, the special guest. His name is Rob Sky from Illinois. Rob, are you there?
Hey guys, it's Rob Ski from the AK Operators Union. How are you today?
My first blurb, Sky is key. Great.
Yes, Ski, because this is the last three basically letters of my last name, and everyone in my platoon, my unit, everyone just cuts it down. They don't bother to pronounce the whole last name. They don't want to butcher it, so they just call me Ski. So that's how I become the Rob Ski.
And I butchered even the last three letters. Okay, I was able to do that. Now, Rob, listen to me. First of all, as me, we seem like to have the same type of Alabama Southern accent. And I'm being sarcastic. Where are you from originally?
Originally from Kentucky.
Like myself, I guess.
I came from Poland. I came to United States in 1998. So do not adjust the radio. This is how I speak. Okay, I do not prank that accent. I try to speak best English as I could. But, it's hard, and hard to drop the accent, so I speak with the accent.
Rob, don't worry, they're already used to me, okay? So, already done some damage here. Now, great, and it's funny because we share the same type of story, at least that part of story. We both came to America in 1998. That's kind of exciting. And we are both naturalized American citizens. You are naturalized American too, correct?
Yes, I am.
Perfect. So we took both an oath to defend this republic. That's the bottom line. And I see through your site, by the way, you have a website and you have an amazing YouTube channel that you really understand the concept of the Second Amendment, and not just in theoretical way, but also you really practice it. And you specialize, as I see, especially on the YouTube channel, the K Operators Union, Local 4774, correct me if I'm wrong, on the K-47. Tell me a little bit about this YouTube channel and how this idea was created and when started it.
We started talking about the AKs a little bit more than a year ago. So as you can see, based on our followers numbers on the Facebook and on the YouTube, we grew. We just exploded on the YouTube, and we exploded with popularity on the Facebook. And our main goal was to bring the AK rifle to average American user, because there is some stigma attached to the AK rifles. There was a lot of Vietnam War veterans which they didn't like AKs at all. And, in the late 90s, early 2000s, that still was the case. I think that changed a little bit when we have engaged in global war on terror, and our GIs went overseas to Iraq and Afghanistan, and they found themselves very often in the need of using the AK rifle, and they realized that this is a really good weapon. And yes, the bad guys are using it, and we are fighting them. But it's a weapon, and the weapon is very reliable under any conditions, and it shoots very well too. I think one of the most annoying misconceptions is that the AK rifle isn't accurate, and that's totally not true.
Very good, and I agree with you. There has been a lot of misconception. Of course, it's a rifle dedicated and created for a special purpose. I mean, if you want to have let's say, a long-distance rifle, maybe this is not the main purpose, but you can still have a lot of versatility with this rifle, more than people can imagine. For example, I've seen you shooting on YouTube to have zeroing the rifle and also going to some marksmanship shots, like till at least 400 yards, and this is with a K-47, correct?
Yes, we with AK-74 type plan. This one runs on 545 by 39, and we took it to 600 yards. And you are absolutely can make hits, and with the good optic on it, and engage the targets. With the AK-47s. Or AKMs, because we really do not have the AK-47s.
Correct.
This is, but I tried to fix that problem. Originally, when we were talking AKM, nobody could understand what we're talking about. So I dropped the ball, and AK-47 it is. But basically with the AK-47s, which are running on 7.62 by 39, I think so you can take it easily to the 400 yards and be successful with that rifle. Especially with the newer models and with good AK, good quality AK, you should have no problems engaging the targets up to 400 yards.
Perfect. And let's play 1 second, because you're right. Technically, us here, unless you have a very lucky guy that has a lot of money and the special FFL license or whatever, an FA class 3, we don't really have AK-47. We have pretty much a rifle that is patterned according to the AK-47 style, but is a semi-automatic rifle. What is the difference, really, between AKM and AK-47?
The AKM, that was a modified version of the AK-47s, and there were some improvements made to that rifle, and the design changed a little bit. The name came from the original AK-47 was introduced to the service in the actually late 46 and then swing to the 47. That's how that name was created. The pattern AK-47 stick to it, and that's that's why we keep hearing AK-47. But if you look into the users, even in the countries like Russia, you will not find very many AK-47s. I mean, maybe at the museum, but not in the service, not in the use. So all you're going to see is different patterns for the AKMs, modified versions.
Perfect.
More modernized.
Exactly. So the AK-47, it's like a historic piece. Now we are pretty much, our rifles, they're based on the AKM design. Now, tell us a little bit about your professional background when it comes down to rifles. I mean, did you serve in Poland? Did you have special training? How did you learn all your skills?
Yes, we had to serve, of course, in Poland, and I did I did my service, I did my duty at that time. Okay, nothing to be really proud about it. I did what I had to do, and then when I came to United States, I have joined the Army. I'm serving right now still with the Army National Guard, and I'm infantryman. I'm very proud of it. This is something what I always wanted to do, and I did this because this country has been so good to us and to my family that I decided, this is the time to pay it back somehow. I'm paying taxes, but I want to do the service too, because I think so that this is the honorable thing to do. And I always had that desire to serve in the U.S. Army, so here we are.
Okay, exciting. It's funny because myself, when I came to America in 1998, not even after 6 months, I wanted to join the Army myself. And I talk about this in the last Sunday show, okay? And don't get me wrong, I completely with you. My family also was during World War II. I already said many times, we were under occupied by the Nazis, and it was kind of, for me, a tribute, or at least a way to say thank you for this to this country. Only thing, you never heard about Michael New, specialist Michael New, during the Clinton administration. Is the Army specialist. You ever heard about him?
No, I did not.
Okay, this is the hour normally I talk about guns, and I don't want to, start to go into politics, but I will send you the link of the interview because it's one of our American heroes. And, I know that you mean well, and you want to defend this republic, and you should listen a little bit about the story about Michael New. But this is about something different. And I'll send you the link about that. This is something that I am sending to every soldier enlisted or every professional soldier out there who still pretty much believes to uphold our oath. And they should know, in my opinion, the story of private specialist, Army specialist Michael New. Anyway, now let's talk about rifles. Between the K-47 and the K-74, there are differences, of course, and probably many people already in my show, my listeners know, but let's give a little bit your professional opinion, what is exactly the pro and don't on each rifle, if you had to choose between both?
Absolutely. My favorite type of the rifle will be 74 type, specifically because it's running the 5.45 by 39 millimeters round. So it is a lighter round, but it has outstanding ballistics, and it's a very accurate round. Also, the terminal ballistics, the damage on the body is absolutely devastating. I mean, that round, when you are hit by that round, it's designed specifically to start tumbling inside the body, so it creates a havoc inside your body when you are hit with that round. Now, that being said, the 7.62, which is commonly used in so-called AK-47s, it's heavier round. And if you want to destroy something which is hiding behind the barrier or something, this is the perfect round because it has a much better penetration. So it plows through the walls and can reach the target hiding behind the wall. Now, these are consequences to this because I hear a lot of people are using the AKMs for the home defense. And I'm always worried about this because you know how the houses are built in United States.
Yes.
I mean, you shoot that round, especially 7.62, and even if you will hit the target, you have to remember from the very close distance, if you are using for the home protection and if you engage the target, it's probably going to be inside 10 meters, or 3 feet, inside the 10 yards. So that round will go through the body without stopping. And because the round is at the full velocity and it will go through the body without stopping. And then it will travel through the walls and probably through neighboring homes and God knows what else you can hit. And I'm always telling this to our students, be aware of not just the foreground of the target, but background of the target as well when you are engaging the targets. But for the home defense, I would strongly encourage people, pick up the shotgun. That's probably, the semi-automatic shotgun, maybe Vepr 12 shotgun with 10 rounds magazines, and you are good to go. The AKM rifle, oh boy, I am really not the big fan of AKM rifles in home, for the home defense.
I completely agree, and people sometimes exactly forget about that we live in, most of us, I mean, I live in the middle of nowhere, so I could shoot a 50 cal in one of my places and still would be able to be safe. But the point is, if we live in an environment like there are neighbors, and, especially if you live in a city, exactly what you say is so important. So please, listeners, understand, a rifle like an AK or even 74 or 47, doesn't matter. It can pretty much, over-penetrate pretty much almost everything in a regular civilian environment like normally where we live. Now,
yes, I live in the suburbia, so our homes are fairly close to each other, and I can guarantee if I will shoot through my house, that bullet will travel through the half neighborhood before stopping down.
Perfect. I mean, perfect. Scary. That's the truth. Now, question, talking about ammunition, AK-74, you said something very important. So, I love it, by the way. I have several AK-74, and I confirm what you say. I like, first of all, the ballistic. I like the fact that when you get, especially the Russian surplus, the 545 by 39, that they have this sort of air pocket, that they tumble, and they have some sort of a steel penetrator. Don't say that to the ATF too loud, otherwise they're going to pretty much doing what already done. They're stopping this importation.
We unfortunately, the last year, around that time, it was around that time, the ATF basically issued the ruling that this is the armor-piercing round, and all the importation was stopped. The new Form 6 were not approved for the importers to bring that ammo, and it was outstanding source of the cheap ammo for all of us. And that stopped. And the ATF was trying to pull out the same trick this year for going after the green tip on the 556. But of course, the AR is much more popular, so there was so much outcry generated that they dropped the idea. And we helped too. We stood up for our AR friends and AR brothers, and we did our video, and we're trying to get our fans engaged and sign petitions and stop that madness, because it's absolutely unjustified. But they did it to the 5.45, and there is nothing what we can do at this point.
You're right. That's the point. Before you buy a rifle, don't get me wrong, I love the AK-74, and I think, especially when you get the real stuff, the Russian stuff, that they have this air pocket, and they designated to do exactly this tumbling, they are the best rounds, and they are low in recoil. Every woman or every young man could hold it with good training. So the sad thing is we have this unconstitutional agency without even act of Congress. This is just pretty much like now a bunch of bureaucrats. They tell you what type of rounds you can have. Unfortunately, they did what they did because we weren't doing our job like we did with the AR-15. So we need to get it back. And I understand many listeners already involved, but we need to understand the ATF shouldn't have the power to pretty much regulate our Second Amendment. Now, what do you think about, first of all, normally I don't talk about politics in this show, because in this hour, I mean, the first hour it's completely about rights, politics, and things like that. This is about the guns fact. But you come from a place like myself, from Europe, and you come from a different background from the average American, and you've seen things maybe not you directly, but your family lived through an age of darkness, okay? Like my family lived through the age of darkness of the communist, and, we still have communists, but more important, before that, even when we had Mussolini, was even darker. Now, what do you think is happening right now in America? Do you smell something that is familiar as a sense of alertness? I mean, something's happening. It is not exactly the America I came here even just 16 years ago. What do you think?
I'll tell you what, I'm over 40 years old. So, I had the taste of living in the socialistic paradise, quote unquote. It wasn't a paradise by any stretch of imagination. What we are seeing right now, in US, and it breaks my heart because I lived through it. There is that desire of, a lot of people to go and drift into that, socialistic waters, and they do not understand the consequences. And let's talk for a second about the healthcare system. Yes, the healthcare was in my country at that time absolutely free. Okay, that was true. However, you couldn't get any healthcare because the hospitals were overcrowded, the doctors' offices were overcrowded, and if you want to be taken care of it, you had to pay bribes to the doctors, to the nurses, buy your spot at the hospital.
Right on.
So why I'm telling you this, because this is exactly what we are trying to push here in the U.S. right now, and I understand there has to be something done to reform the healthcare system, but this is not the way. The socialism is not the answer. Like Margaret Thatcher once said, the socialism is a great system until you realize you are bankrupt.
Exactly.
And this is how it always ends, because you cannot just keep taking and spreading that wealth, because at some point someone has to pay the bill. You have to balance the sheet. And what we are seeing right now, the transformation of America, under the President Obama, is absolutely heartbreaking to me. It's like, living this all over again. And hopefully we will gain some common sense back to the politics. But unfortunately, even on the Republican side, I do not see a lot of hope.
Okay, listen, I know you're a National Guard, and, that's your commander-in-chief. This is not my commander-in-chief. I don't even call him President. Obama is let's see if FCC compliant, is a bastard, communist piece of garbage, and is a Nazi. People say, why you say communist is also Nazi? Yes, I tell you why, and I also say that many times. Nazi means National Socialist. And as Hitler did, not only a socialist agenda, but also he did the race agenda. But that's my personal opinion, and let's go back into guns. Otherwise, we're going to get you in trouble here. Okay?
I cannot comment on what you said.
Exactly. That's why it's look at Zanna's opinion, Obama. I know you're listening. I know the NSA listening. I know that I had more than 50 views from Homeland Security on my website, zanna.us. So be sure it's me talking, okay? All right. Now, back to guns. Now, AK-47 against AK-74. We pretty much went through that. Now, if people says the AK-47 has some sort of limitation, especially with the rear sight, and the radius of the sight. But I know that there are a lot of things now we can do, especially with optics. If you could create pretty much your Optimus AK-47 or AK-74 with some modification, keeping it light, we don't want to overdo it, but what would you do?
I'll definitely put some rail up front, and because the rail allows you to add the flashlight. If you don't want to play with the side rail for mounting the optic, you can stick the very light micro dot up front, and right away you have a great package. You have the flashlight and you have an optic on it. So that's pretty much, if you want to keep it absolutely simple, this would be the easiest way to go. If you want to be a little bit more advanced, you can pick up the Zenith rail like B10M and then add the rail at the dust cover B33, and then you have the rail in the middle of the dust cover, and you can put more advanced optic like maybe a scope or with fixed power 4X or even variable power. Right now the Primar Arms is making excellent 1 to 6X scopes for 7.62 calibrated for the 7.62 rifles, and then you can reach out the targets up to 500 yards. Or if you are playing if you have to use the rifle in the CQB, you can switch to 1 power and you have like a 1 power optic.
Perfect. And this is very important because, now, especially when you put the rail, we have so much more flexibility that we can pretty much have on the average AK. And it's a great rifle. I tell you, I have a dream. If every American, every law-abiding citizen in America will still believe, that we have a republic and we are nobody's slaves and we are the last line of defense against all tyrannies, foreign and domestic, would buy just one rifle. The rifle that pretty much would defend this republic would be the AK-47. And I'll tell you my opinion why. AK-47, you can get pretty much for the price of a gun, handgun, you can get a rifle. And differently from a gun, a rifle can defend liberty. A rifle does things that normally a gun would never do. The gun is to defend your person. Rifle is the infantryman's main weapon. And more important, you have a price range, it's affordable. You have something that normally you would never pretty much have to modify or, fix or change parts. I mean, seriously, I saw some torture tests that you did on your YouTube channel that they're out of this mind. I mean, tell me, people already knows probably that this AK-47 is pretty rough, but you do things that they are completely out of control. Give me like some sort of a test that you did on one of your latest videos.
I will tell you the one of the most brutal tests is probably dragging a rifle behind a truck.
Yes,
and then checking how it cycles and how it is functioning. And the people are questioning this, why we are doing this. And I think so this is the fastest way to accelerate getting the pollution inside the receiver, to getting the mud and all the debris and everything to the whole mechanism. And I agree, it is radical, but I think we had 0 malfunctions with the AK rifles run through that test, and it speaks a volume. I think so this is the one of the most brutal tests. Another good one too is when we throw the rifle, after when the rifle is dirty on the road and we check if it's functioning, then we take it and we throw it to the creek, and the creek is very unique because we have the sand and little rocks, debris at the bottom of the creek. So when we are dragging the rifle on the rope through the creek, it's not just the pure water. Water isn't that bad, but all that sand, all those debris are getting to the magazine, to the mechanism, and this is the real. It's probably one of the hardest tests. It's not as visible as dragging the rifle behind the truck, but that creek test, I'm telling you, it will drop on the knees a lot of rifles.
Yeah, and also I see when there is a truck that you pretty much you go over with a truck on this rifle. I mean, this is
yes,
I couldn't believe it.
This is you wouldn't believe it, but this is actually happening very often. What the people do, they forgot the rifles and they run them over with their cars.
Yeah.
So that's how this test was created from the feedback from some of the users, and we just basically want to see if the rifles can survive something like this.
Perfect. Now, let me tell me a little bit about, you have a training facility in your home state. You're exactly in Illinois, correct?
Yes, we are right under the nose of the biggest gun grabbers in the country. We are not that far away. I'm not that far away from Chicago, but we have we do everything at our farm, which is in the central state, and this is where we do the videos. And we will have in November we'll held our marksmanship classes down there too, and the marksmanship class will be specifically for the AK pattern rifles, and we'll teach the people how to correctly engage the targets up to even 600 yards with the AK rifle.
Perfect. I see, by the way, you have a beautiful website besides the YouTube channel that you also offer classes, as you're saying, and it's, I really want to come. There was a class in Las Vegas, in Boulder City, let's see, exactly May the 23rd, the 24th, Saturday and Sunday. This is one in Boulder City, Nevada, correct?
Yes, this is like 20 minutes away from Las Vegas in the Pro Gun Club. That class sold out immediately, but we are working very closely with friends from the Rifle Dynamics, and we have just received the message this week. They open up possibilities of performing another class later in October this year, and we open up right now the spots for the second class in Las Vegas, which will be in October this year.
Okay, I need to come to that one. Are you going to be there as an instructor?
Absolutely, yes. It will be me, Dima 1 and Dima 2.
Tell us a little bit about those Dimas. Where are these guys? They're great guys, by the way. Where
Dimas are great guys. They have extensive experience. They basically do perform training for the special forces all around the world. They train the units and mainly in Russia too, how to use the AK rifles. So they know a lot about the AK rifles, but they are not limited to the AK rifles. And we work with the Dimas. They have the company named Center T, and the Center T is a company in the United States. This is a training and consulting company that's like a division of AK Operators Union. And we are basically, our goal is to provide the training for the self-defense and for the proper use of the rifles a little bit from the Eastern perspective, because a lot of people are trying to use the AK rifle the way how they are using AR, and there are some major differences, even with basic holds and basically differences in the mechanics of the rifle between the AR and the AK. So we are trying to provide that unique Eastern European view on the platform and how to use it, and trying to spread that knowledge to our students.
I think that's great. I'm really excited about it. And even if I cannot come to do the class, maybe if I'm around and I'm available in the end of May, I would like to maybe just do another interview and maybe take some audio feeds. That would be great. I would like to meet you in person, by the way. That would be
absolutely. If you could meet us with with Dimas in Las Vegas, that would be sweet, and we'll be more than happy to have you with us.
Yeah, I'm based in Mojave County. That is pretty much like 1 hour and 30 minutes away from you guys, so that's not that bad. Mojave County, just at the border with Nevada. Now, tell me, let's say first of all, your website. I mean, you have a website that, beside the training classes, you also offers great stuff. I like the accessories. I mean, you got a lot of great stuff there. Give the website out, please.
Yes, the website, the address is very simple, www.ak4774.com. So that's all it is. It's very simple to memorize it. And we have created the website basically to help us to run the AK Operators Union, because the costs associated with making the videos, performing all these tests, we couldn't keep up. We have ended up last year losing $9,000. I kid you not. And my wife said, that's it. You are done.
I understand. I understand the feeling.
You are done expanding the family, the college funds for the kids. This gotta end. So we created the store. We established the communication with some companies, and we are trying to offer a a little bit better pricing and offer the products which we reviewed already and certified that they are good to use and good to go, basically.
No,
so,
guys, I really like it, by the way. Listeners, if you go to their website, you see a lot of great stuff for very good prices. And I tell you something, it's quality stuff. It's not junk stuff. Because I see all these items that they have, from scopes to mounts and everything else, stuff that they use in these YouTube's videos. And this is not like just to play around airsoft, okay? It's really military-grade stuff. For example, you got magazines and many other things. And talking about magazines, there are a lot of magazines right now out there for the AK-47 style rifles. What is your favorite magazine that for you works always perfectly and never give you any problems, even with, all these different tests?
I tell you what, I always go back to the military surplus magazines and the good steel magazines on sale you can get even for less than $10.
Yes.
So I absolutely see no point of going with, some crazy new modern creations. However, that being said, when I was at the SHOT Show this year, the Magpul will be introducing the second generation of their PMAX for the AK. As we all know, the first generation was a complete disappointment, but the second one looks very promising because they have included the metal reinforcements basically on the parts which they should do it in the first place. They didn't, but they taking the notes, they corrected the issue. Okay. So these mags they look very promising. That's what, but basically, if I got a chance, I always go to the surplus magazines because these are proven magazines, they work no matter what.
Yeah, and by the way, they're like almost a tool. I've seen some videos out there, especially when you get the one with the metal spine, the spine of the magazine. I mean, that's a weapon itself. I mean, when you get something like that made of steel, that's like an axe, so at least you can.
Yes, you can use the magazine to do a lot of harm to your opponent, but also you can use as a beer opener.
Yes.
You can use for chopping the meat to pieces. I mean, it works perfectly. There are so many uses for the AK magazines. It's absolutely unbelievable.
That's your video, right? I mean, that was a YouTube video.
No, that was done by friends from the Polenar Tactical.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a known secret between the AK users that you can use the magazine for many other things than just loading the rounds feeding the rounds to the rifle.
You're right. There was a Poland, another group I really like to watch. Guys, listen, this is exciting, listeners, okay? I mean, you don't need to be rich to have a rifle, to start to have a great rifle. We just, talking about the price of probably half of the price of a 1911, fancy 1911, you can have a real military-grade rifle, semi-automatic. Get a bunch of magazines, get a bunch of ammo, and train. And now we have affordable training here in the U.S. by guys like Rob Ski here that I think it's amazing. I like this guy. First of all, it's the spirit, the excitement, like the same excitement I have and I had when I came to America. You want to do things that you never were able to do in your own country. And we can still do them regardless. These bastards in Washington, they're trying to stop us. can still do it, and let's do it. So train. Don't just have a rifle and put it on the wall. Because, for example, Rob, people sometimes think, under stress, they will rise to the occasion and they will figure it out how to become Rambo. That's not the case. And one of the best ways to show sometimes to people, even just basic operation, just even a tactical reload. That means swapping a magazine with a fresh magazine, a used magazine. There are techniques, especially with AK, it's a little more complicated if you don't have training, compared to an AR-15 that is pretty much a straight-up magazine. Tell us, for example, how would you perform the basic emergency reload with your AK, also called speed reload?
Basically, I always see this is where the reality crashes against the video games and everything else and movies. First of all, I always try to find if you are reloading in an open field, you did something wrong because you are a target. And I don't care how fast you're going to perform that reload right now for that second and a half, 2 seconds. You are a sitting duck with your useless rifle in the field. So you should be behind the cover. Okay. Now, when you are behind the cover, what we teaching the students, okay, forget about the fancy way of slapping the magazine with taking the fresh magazine and using that magazine and slap out the spent magazine and then reloading. Because when we did this in the class too, you will see how the people are fumble under the pressure. You should take the new magazine, use your thumb, put it on the trigger guard and swipe it, the magazine release catch, free up the magazine well, load the new magazine, twist the rifle towards yourself with the right hand and use your left hand from over the top and charge it so you got the visible control over the charging handle. Don't try to be the fancy guy. Don't go underneath of the rifle. Don't try to do the crazy things. Simple baby steps at first. Learn how to run it efficiently, and speed will come later.
Perfect.
But, and I'm telling you, we do this in the class. Always at the end of the training, we perform like a stress hour, and the students go through the different tasks, and they have to perform them on the clock, and there is a lot of stress put on them, and you will see how the people are reacting to it. It's a huge eye-opener for them. We do this to show them, look, this is what's going to happen to you under the stress. So keep it simple, because it's easier to perform the simple tasks instead of trying to be fancy, and then you are fumbling. And if you are fumbling, this will end very bad to you.
Exactly. And more important, you must train. Whatever you want to do, you must be sure that, train is there. It is not just in your mind. Your body must go through thousands of repetition to make it pretty much part of your instinct.
Absolutely. But what I'm seeing right now, and it breaks my heart, and I think so it's an interesting trend developing in the training community. Most of the time you will see guys punching the paper from these 7 yards line distance, and they go into those fancy drills, and we are kind of forgetting about the basics of shooting. Everyone is so focused on, I want to go through that 1 to 5 drill and put as many rounds as possible on target, and then I'm happy. But you have to ask yourself, these drills are specifically designed for the CQBs and clearing rooms and things like this. How often, let's assume that the catastrophe is happening, how often you're going to find yourself going to the city and clearing the rooms? First of all, if you will be doing it, you will expend your ammo at enormous speed, okay? And second of all, you have to be retarded to go to the city in the event of emergency. I would run away from the city as far as possible to the woods so I can hunt, get food, and a shelter for my family.
Exactly. And the point, sometimes people forget, the rifle is to keep people away from you. I mean, the idea to become a marksman, to have at least the rifle standard, that at least to reach with the 4 minutes of angle, that is pretty much going to allow us, to keep our group at 500 yards in the 20 square inches. I mean, that's the advantage. Otherwise, you know what? Well, why is to have a rifle? You don't want to always think that you want to use the rifle for close situation. Of course, things may happen, but they weren't planned. The idea of the rifle to keep people away. And when you're a trained rifleman, you should be able to keep the enemies away at least 500 yards, even just use it with iron sight. Now,
exactly, and that's my point. Yes, you should have that training too. For the CQBs, and know how to work in the close environment. But it really, what I'm saying is that people are walking away. They are dropping completely a ball on the basic fundamentals of the shooting. And they are, and I think so it goes with the human nature, because when you're punching that paper from the 7 yards line, it's instant gratification.
Yeah,
right?
That's true. That's true.
You
You're
can
right.
see the holes. It's easy. Why even bother? If we are talking about the marksmanship, even at the 300 yards, 200 yards, you have to start putting some fundamentals.
Yes.
And you have to be patient and be good at it. And that takes practice, and you don't have always that instant gratification. It takes time to master those skills. So we try to balance it. We try to give it a little bit of everything. But that's what I'm trying to tell the students. You don't have to buy the class from us. I mean, forget me. But when you will go to the training class, make sure you're getting the full spectrum, full 360 on that training.
Perfect.
And it's not just the punching the paper from the close distance. Try to work on your other skills to develop them, because you could be the fastest shooter. I have seen the guys performing the 1-to-5 drill extremely fast. So what if I can punch your face from 400 yards before you can even touch me?
Exactly. That's the point, guys. Use the rifle for what's supposed to be the purpose of the rifle. Okay. Now, question. I was talking about basics. I like another video that you have on YouTube channel. Please give again the name of the YouTube channel, since we're talking about it.
It will be also AK Operators Union.
Perfect.
So our Facebook page is Facebook/AK Operators Union, or YouTube and /AK Operators Union, or if you will just Google AK Operators Union, it will take you to our websites.
And just to let you know, since today, on today's show, I will create a page with today's show, as normally I do, and I will put a link to your YouTube channel, because it's really it's a must. Okay, so people can go to lovegunsfreedom.com, today's show, and there is a link directly to the YouTube channel. Anyway, back to the question. One of the videos that I watch, I really enjoy. Come back to the basics. How you zero your AK-47 pattern rifle with the Russian system. Can you please elaborate a little bit how you do that?
Yes. We, again, in the U.S., mainly we do not have the access to the 100 meters range, so the people develop so-called 25 yards, zero for the AK, and it works kind of okay, but the farther away you are, once you are past that 200 meters mark and you are using the iron sights, you are going to start accumulating error on the slider. So that adjustment slider is not going to match your settings for the distance. So I wanted to show to people the good old Russian military way, which we did it all over the places too. Basically, you have to go to the 100 meters, and I put the conversion for the yards too in the video. So it will be 109 yards. You have the special target. I provided the dimensions for it, control target, and the target width from the 100 meters, when you will go to the prone position and line up your front post underneath of that control target, it will match the width of your front post. So it is all really, it all makes sense. It was designed that way to be it. And then you zero the rifle the way how we described this in the video, and you shoot at that control target, and it should be a controlled distance from the point of aim to the point of impact. And this will give you the true 300 meters zero. So right after you're done with it, you should back off the slider to 100 and then verify the zero at the 100, 200, 300, and 400 meters and go from there. But it is practically unknown method, to my amazement, in the United States. And again, we are kind of lazy. We created this shortcut with the 25 yards zero, and it's not always going to work perfectly. You're going to accumulate error. So I would strongly suggest to find the range, find that 100 meters range, or if you got your own field, do it that way, zero the rifle that way.
Guess what? That's why I love this show. I never stop learning, and I like to learn from my guests, and I like to learn from my listeners. And I found this new way, the Russian way, how to zero the AK through you guys, through the YouTube, and I appreciate it. And this Sunday, I will go to the range, and I will bring pretty much all my AK-47s and 74, and I will start to play around with the zeroing them with this new system, because I think it's very amazing. I saw the video and I really like it. Hey, you're right. 25 yards sounds good, but then when you start to go over the 200 yards, there are too many errors, and you need to always play around with that.
That being said, for the red dot, because it's just the red dot, the 25 meters zero will work, because you don't have that much of the room anyhow, and that 25 meters should take you, you should be good on the human-sized target from that 25 to 250 meters on that spread. But the red dot's the weakness of the red dot, because there's not much. It's just the red dot in the middle, and you have to learn your holdovers when you are engaging the targets from the distance.
Yes, exactly. Now, let's talk about projects. I see that you sent me a link today about a new project. It's a U.S.-made 9mm AK. How are you involved with this project? Are you testing it? Are you part of the project? Tell us.
Yes, basically because of the sanctions introduced by President Obama last year, there was zero chance of importing the 9mm AKs from Russia, so we couldn't get VTS or we couldn't get the Saiga 9 or Vapor 9. At that time, the idea was born, the company named Definitive Arms out of Florida, so a little bit close to you. And the guys from the Atlantic Firearms, they team up and they said, you know what, screw this. Screw the politicians. We're going to design the American-made AK in 9mm so the people can enjoy this. And I'm very excited. For the last 3 weeks, we were working with that rifle. We talked to them, and they finally launched the product today. And we posted the video review of that rifle. Rifle works absolutely beautiful. It's such a fun to shoot, and I'm amazed. By what they done and how they done it and the quality of the product. And I'm so happy. Again, the American spirit prevailed. And in my eyes, this is the salute with the one finger to the politicians in the Washington D.C.
I agree, Rob. This is a great idea, and on top, can be also very good tactical applications for this. As you were saying before, during regular homes, in regular homes, the 762x39 or even the 545x39, it's way too much powerful. And to have the same type of, first of all, people that are used to the AK-47 platform, and they can have it now in 9mm, not only could be easier also to find ammunition sometimes, especially if there is some sort of a ban on ammo, but more important, in the households, there could be an ammo that could be much easier to handle in a regular household. Don't you think about that?
Absolutely. I think for the home defense, this is the perfect tool. The 9mm, as you know, it does not have that much of energy, and it makes it a very perfect weapon for the home defense. Also, maneuvering that weapon, that rifle, is extremely easy. It has zero recoil. I mean, recoil is like 22 LR rifle, so non-existing one. So even for the females, probably this is going to be a perfect choice too, because it's not as intimidating as a 7.62. But I love this rifle. I love to run it, and you can run it extremely fast and transition from target to target extremely fast. And they did outstanding job, and I'm really happy. I mean, this is something what makes me proud. Makes me proud to be American, really.
Very good. I'm excited too. This is always a way. The spirit of freedom must never surrender, and we always find a way to defeat the evil tyrants. That's my bottom line, and I agree with you. And I see that a lot of things you do. Besides these classes. Tell me a little bit about you as a person. Beside your instructor. You have your YouTube, and you are part of the National Guard. Rob Ski, where are you as a person normally? How do you spend your day when you don't shoot guns?
Well, unfortunately, the whole AK Operators Union takes so much time that my family isn't always happy about it. I got 2 kids and wife, and it's hard to tell me, but between all the messages from the Facebook, emails, and the YouTube, it takes enormous amount of the time to answer it every day, and this is happening every day. But I want to keep the people happy too, and that's why we created the AK Operators Union. But I'm trying to spend as much time as I can with my kids, with my wife, because the family, I strongly believe the family is extremely important. This is the foundation of everything, and if you don't have a strong family, you're going to fail.
I agree. And that's why we are doing this. I mean, you're doing this to try to preserve the rights that we had and we hopefully still have here in America for your kids, for who's coming after us. I mean, this is the way also you're doing it. That's why I say when you do things like this, you try to invite people to learn how to shoot, to get excited. That's beautiful because, people sometimes don't get involved with our Second Amendment rights until they try it, until they say, wow, this is not something for bad people. This is not something for gangsters. This is about to be an American, to have this God-given right of self-defense, and also more important, to be part of the last line of defense of this republic. That's the bottom line. So the rifle, it's important. And that's why training American citizen, training a law-abiding American that who believes in freedom, I think it's a very honorable mission that you're doing. And I hope for you success, and I hope pretty soon you're going to be making more money than your wife could imagine. So when you're going to be busy on the Facebook and on YouTube and doing this, your wife is going to bring you beer or vodka after you finish shooting. By the way, I like the video about how to become a Russian operator with a vodka style.
That was our little joke done at the end of the year to keep it, funny and in perspective. But speaking about my wife, she's doing a fantastic job. All the videos, what you see, they are filmed by her. She's working behind the camera, so she's helping us. And the union couldn't exist without my wife or Paul's wife. They doing outstanding job helping us and keeping everything together and understanding our commitment to it. But speaking about the training, one of my goals too is I think so that it would be awesome to bring more kids to our sport, because shooting, that's a sport. That's how it used to be. The shooting was extremely popular sport for the kids, and right now I think we kind of walk away from it because we are not seeing as many kids involved in the shooting competitions. And that's sad. And I'm thinking for 2016, I think we will bring the classes for the kids, especially where we'll talk about the safety, where we'll talk about the weapon safety, but we will also give them an opportunity to take the rifles and maybe those 9mm rifles and to shoot and learn how to shoot safely and have fun. Because this is all about the fun. And I think so if you will bring more kids to this sport, this is the key, to spread that love for the firearms, just like it used to be, in America. Because if you will go, those 16, 20 years ago, I talked to the people and they saying, the kids were going for hunting with fathers and, they were, the father were dropping off the kid, with the shotgun, going back from hunting next to the school, and nobody was making a big deal of it. Now you show up with the shotgun close to school and you got the SWAT team and everything is shut down.
Exactly.
But I think so that this is the key to bring the youth and reintroduce that sport to the youth.
I completely
get them away from the Xbox, get them away from the PlayStation. This is an outdoor sport, outdoor activities. Keep them engaged, because that's the key for success.
And also the key to keep our next generation going, because one day we're going to be old and we need to have the next generation of Americans that understand what it means to be free, what it means to have a right that nobody else around the world has. You know that. So I completely agree with you. We got to bring them to the range, and I'm glad that we can help them out also through you. Listen, Rob, I need to let you go now, and I really hope we can be in touch more often, because I'm one of your biggest fan of your YouTube channel. And please, when you come around next time, you have my cell phone. Whenever you come around here, Mohave County or Las Vegas or whatever, give me a call, okay?
Sure. Thank you, guys. Thanks for being at your show, and thanks for the opportunity to speak to your fans. Thanks, guys.
Perfect. Thank you. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Lucas Zanna. Don't Go Away, a song that now I dedicate to all the operators of Union Local 74 and 47. Don't Go Away. AK Operators Union, this song is for you.
Come and take it. Take it. Come and take it. Come and take it. Come and take it. You're gonna like it. You're gonna feel like it's paradise. Come and take it. You're gonna get it. You're gonna taste it. Between your eyes. Go take it. Go take it. Go take it. Go take it. No more false illusions. Enough of your phony hope. You soul. If you want our guns, you want our souls. If you want our lives, here we stand in line. Come and take it. You're gonna like it. You're gonna feel like it's paradise. Come and take it. You're gonna get it. You're gonna taste it. One between your eyes. Come and take it. Come and take it. Come and take it. Come and take it. No more tears, no more fears. Let's have our last beer. Now it's our time to fight, and freedom may never die. Come and take it. You're gonna like it. You're gonna feel like it's paradise. Come and take it. You're gonna get it. You're gonna taste it. One between your eyes. Come and take it. 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 Come and take it.
He's a songwriter, a poet, a rifleman,
I'm not afraid.
and a constitutional activist.
I'm not afraid.
Italian by birth,
I'm not afraid.
American by choice. Gianluca Zanna
I'm not afraid.
and his new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom. 16 powerful songs on one CD from the heart of a patriot. For download or to order the CD, go to www.lovegunsfreedom.com. That's www.lovegunsfreedom.com. Lyrics for your mind, music for your heart. Gianluca Zanna's new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom.
You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Gianluca Zanna on Guerrilla Media Network. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. This is the final hour of today's show. I hope you enjoyed like I did. It was an exciting show today, April the 12th, 2015. Now, let's go back a little bit to some basics, okay? This is the hour that normally I talk about love. And I will. But it's kind of different form of love, you know? First of all, let's talk a little bit what happened the last few days. On the Kingdom Daily Miner, I had a gentleman that I know also is an anchorman here in KTOX. His name is Bob Moore, who wrote a nice letter, and I'm being sarcastic, on the Kingdom Daily Miner, pretty much as a rebuke or answer, let's put it this way, to my original letter that I posted. Letter to the editor was a guest column that was called "The Sound You Hear is the New World Order." That was regarding the sound of the Navy pilots, flying over Golden Valley for 4 months non-stop. And I articulated my case. I brought information. I brought names. I brought dates. I mean, guys, I bring you facts, okay? And I invite you to read this letter. I will post it also on my website, today's show, lovegunsfreedom.com, and the link is called "The Sound You Hear is the New World Order." Now, you will see in this letter, I'm glad to have some sort of interaction, because, the idea of the show is also to find different point of views, and maybe, as I said, I'm not always right, but right now, so far, I brought them facts. I brought in my letter to the editor very specific facts why I believe that, unfortunately, according to the sources, I'm not saying that, I'm just repeating the message, the American armed force, they are not anymore under the United States Congress, but they are under global government. And this is not me saying it. This has been pretty much, first of all, if we believe that we have a United States Constitution, and only Congress can declare war. Unfortunately, we know very well, since the Korea War, we had never had any more real congressional approval for wars. It's been just under the United Nations. And there have been many other cases that I brought in my letter that you will be able to read. Now, regarding Mr. Moore, I don't know the man. I'm sure we have differences, and I'm cool with that. That's fine. The point is, I wish when he brings up like a rebuttal, he brings up facts. He doesn't just bring up some sort of, things I never said or distorting things. So I invite you to read also his letter, and so maybe you can make up your mind. But let me read it to you a little bit, okay? This is something he wrote on April the 9th, on the King Madeli Minor. This is by Bob Moore. Sorry for my accent, Mr. Moore. I'm just a naturalized American. You are a natural-born citizen, so you are a different type of class. I understand your sarcasm there. Anyway, it starts here. As an actual veteran of the United States military and a natural-born citizen of the United States, I don't know why you had to remark that, because I think you pretty much think probably less of me because I'm just an immigrant. I understand. Kind of bigot there, but that's okay. I live with that. I've grown tired of the incessant whining about our Navy training in the skies above Mojave County, along with ridiculous statements that President Obama is hell-bent on destroying our nation. All right. Mr. Zanna's most recent diatribe, The Sound You Hear is the New World Order, March the 29th, on the King Madeli Minor, once again takes a mass of misinformation and attempts to put forth the contention that we are no longer a nation believing in freedom and fallen under the aegis of the United Nations when it comes to our military. Mr. Zanna multiple times on his radio show, okay, first of all, let's address that. I brought you facts. I brought you the voice of former Secretary of Defense Panetta, admitting it, that pretty much now Congress is not needed anymore to go to war, but they take authority from the United Nations. I talked to you about facts. Please go to read back my letter. You just answered to me with a very generic statement that doesn't really address any of my points. I'm trying to be civil logical here, Mr. Moore. I'm not trying to be right, but please read my letter and answer to my statements based on facts. Then he says, Mr. Zanna, by the way, Mr. Zanna multiple times on his radio show has insulted individuals he disagrees with by stating all liberals are Nazis. By the way, I said again, Mr. Moore, all liberals who support Obama are Nazis. And I made my case in 2 weeks ago on my show. And by the way, right now I would like to invite you, officially challenge you in the arena of the ideas here live on KTOX to pretty much prove with facts, because when I use the word Nazi, I do not use this word very lightly. I'm not trying to insult people. I know very well what means the word Nazi. Even a naturalized American like me with my poor accent, and maybe not as good as you in speaking, but I can understand the meaning of National Socialism and the history of the Nazi movement. And exactly, I can make logical and very factual comparison to what used to be the National Socialist Party under Hitler and what exactly is happening to America under Obama. And I will bring facts. Now, when I say Obama is a Nazi, I really can prove it. I have the evidence. And when I say people who support him and who voted for him, and I still pretty much try to defend him, yes, if you support and defend a man that according to his political choices and his pretty much his actions is acting like a National Socialist, that means a Nazi, what are you? I'm sorry, you are a Nazi too. Now, I understand people may be offended, and I'm sorry, but we cannot just freeze our First Amendment when we cannot mention the word Nazi, because we have been trained by the media that Nazi is something, just people that were putting people in the camps. Yeah, there was the final stage on Nazism. There was the final stage when people were dying in camps, okay? But before that, the Nazi movement is a National Socialism. It's specifically as a socioeconomic and political identity that I can prove with facts that Obama is a National Socialist and a Nazi. So therefore, if you support still that individual, Mr. Obama, yes, is a Nazi. Now question, I invite not only Mr. Moore, but anybody that wants to be on my show who disagrees with me. If you're civil, I'll be civil, and I welcome you here, and I also invite you, and I'll bring you also some water and maybe some cookies if you come on the show with me, okay? Because the idea of the show is to have logical discussions, topics that normally nobody else wants to touch, but I'm here with logic and facts, okay? I'm not trying here to call people names, okay? So, Mr. Moore, really seriously, I know you hate me probably, but I love you, man, you know? Even I know this is something maybe sounds crazy, but I don't know you. You are probably, you know, you got your own ideas, and you're a man that you don't know me. Maybe you know me enough to think that I'm a bad person, but I'm not bad. I'm just having my opinions, and I base on facts. And I wish we could agree. I wish we would have, honestly, a man that really was different from Bush. I would be so happy if Obama was what he's supposed to be. Unfortunately, Obama is a puppet of the international bankers, and is exactly, I have a lot of similarities with Hitler. The only things he didn't do yet, pretty much, he did not still put people in camps, but there is still time for that, okay? So, please, Mr. Moore, seriously, with love, this is the hour about love, I invite you on my show, and I would like to have a mediator for our interview or our debate. We can pick a person that we both trust. You know, I think we have a lot of good people, like KTOX can help us out. Frank Costigan would be my person of my choice, and, you know, we can have an hour conversation about, and I'll bring you with facts why I really believe Obama and his followers are national socialists, okay? And I'm not going to discuss any more about this here, because I challenge you in the political arena of the ideas. Come with me, we can spend a fun hour together, and we can do it. Meanwhile, I really appreciate, you know, people can read his letter to the editor, and also read mine, because unfortunately he did not address any of my points in my original letter, when I pretty much make my point that unfortunately our army today, it is under the United Nations control. So that's pretty much like that. Now, what else? This is about love. I'm supposed to talk about love. You know, this is an act of love, because, you know, I'm trying to open my hands in sign of communication with somebody that I know we probably philosophically and socioeconomically we disagree, but I am a civil person and I'm trying to understand, and maybe I've been not understood correctly. So I'm here to give him a chance. Let's get together and let's have a good debate, and I'll bring you facts, you'll bring me facts. Now, man, this is kind of exciting. Now, little bit of news, by the way. First of all, before we go ahead, I wrote a song. It's kind of a parody song, but not really. I put a lot of effort in choosing the right lyrics and also choosing the right images. And this is like a little YouTube that I uploaded also on my website, lovegunsfreedom.com, on today's show. But meanwhile, today I would like to play for you this little serenade. It's a serenade for Obama's brown shirts. Since Obama is, for me, a Nazi, everybody who follows Obama, I consider him, unfortunately, a Nazi sympathizers, at least that. And people say, oh, but I didn't kill anybody. Doesn't mean you don't need to kill anybody. You don't need to murder people. I mean, just the fact that you voted for him and you support somebody. Let's say you were in Nazi Germany, okay? And you vote and support Hitler till the last days. Even if you didn't go and commit any type of crime physically, you didn't kill anybody, but unfortunately you put that man in power. So morally you're responsible, and this is not guilty by association like somebody say. No, this is part of the political system we have. So that's the story. If you support a man, his man is going to represent you. So that's the story. And by the way, if somebody doesn't like what I say, that's fine. First of all, number one, I'm not going to back down from my opinions, because I base the opinion on facts. And I'm not going to shut down because politically correctness, because I cannot use the word Nazi. If somebody is a Jew out there, just let me tell you, I got Jewish blood too in me, but that's not the point. I never bring it up. This is not about religion or ethnicity. It's about logic. Just logic, okay? And there are only 3 ways you can shut me down. Let me give you the help so you can understand. Number one, you can shut down the radio, or you can turn off the internet if you listen on the internet. That's very simple. It's called freedom, okay? You don't like what I'm saying, shut it off. Number two, you can come on the air with me and prove me wrong, and I'll be happy to say, wow, I was wrong. I'm wrong many times in my life, and I'm always ready to learn. So please get my, challenge. Let's go and show me that you're wrong. Number 3, you have to do something very bad, like you have to physically pretty much shut me down. And let me tell you something. I know I received an email a couple of weeks ago from this liberal arm Jew that pretty much told me that he was going to show me what means the Second Amendment and never mess with the liberal Jew, arm Jew, when it comes down to talk about, Obama and Nazi and stuff like that. Guess what? Liberal arm Jew. You did not buy the last gun in town. And I'm not trying to, to do anything, but if you bring violence to the, to the table, something that I never brought, I'm here with logic. Guess what? I'm not going to comply. And more important, I'm not going to be intimidated by your veiled or not so veiled threats. So as simple as that, guys. I didn't come to America to be a coward. More important, I didn't come to America to be silent because of politically correctness. I really believe that I have facts and proofs. I challenge every Obamanoid out there to prove me wrong. Obama is a Nazi, and I'll prove you that I have facts with me. Okay, guys? I love you very much. Now enjoy this beautiful little serenade that I wrote and sang for you guys, all the Obamanoids who love that piece of Hitler called Obama, Barack, Hussein, Sotero, whatever you want to call him. Stay tuned. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Lucas Zen. Dedicated to all the Obamanoids.
If you love Obama so much, hey, you want to show me that I'm wrong. I say he's a Nazi, you say no, no. Then come on the air and let's get all alone. I will show you facts and proofs. If you support Obama, you're a Nazi too. I'm very sorry to share bad news, but Obama is a racist. If you believe him, you're a fool. And the and more patriot act, NSA, and more Iraq, illegal wars, Syria, Libya, and Ukraine. You must be insane to believe Obama is a saint. Obama lover, come on the air. Don't be scared, you know I'll be fair. I'm very sorry to share more bad news. Obama loves Monsanto, but does not love you. He rules by edict like Hitler or like a king. If you're still a follow him, you're just kissing his Muslim ring. Oh, please wake up, don't be a fool. Obama is a liar, to support Hitler is not cool.
Hey, you're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Lucas Zanna.
He's a songwriter, a poet, a rifleman,
I'm not afraid,
and a constitutional activist.
I'm not afraid,
Italian by birth,
I'm not afraid,
American by choice. Gianluca Zanna.
I'm not afraid.
And his new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom. 16 powerful songs on one CD from the heart of a patriot. to order the CD, go to www.lovegunsfreedom.com. That's www.lovegunsfreedom.com. Lyrics for your mind, music for your heart. Gianluca Zanna's new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom.
Okay, here we go. This is the final part of the show. Enough said regarding this story with the Nazi and Obama until somebody wants to challenge me on the air live, okay? I don't like to go back and forth, be by myself, talking about it and then repeating it. If you have a point, bring your facts, I'll bring mine, and civilly we can pretty much conclude the situation. Now, back to the final part of the hour. I have in a few minutes an incredible interview with an incredible guy. He's a survivor, one of the first person that was shot at the Columbine's school during that terrible, infamous situation, the shooting of the Columbine school. So Mark Taylor is going to be with me, and right now exactly it is in Nevada, visiting the Bundys, the family, because he supports freedom. Mark Taylor supports freedom, and believe it or not, you will be surprised, this young man, supports our Second Amendment, because he understands that exactly crimes happen where gun-free zones are situated. They are like a magnet for criminals or crazy people. Okay, so it's going to be an interesting interview, also from a point of view, from the drama, the human drama that this man went through. I'm not going to focus much on just the gun issue. This is mostly the hour about love. So we will talk with Mark Taylor and also my friend Ken from Michigan. That is really a great guy, and I appreciate his help. As I said, this show is made by people like him. They help me out to find guests, to find topics that I really believe can be important to share with you, my friends. Now, as I said many times, this show is not here because I'm trying to have even a career in radio. I'm not really that good. I don't really care about it. I got so many other things I could do in my life, and I have so much to do, seriously. But I try to put my best effort, since I took this commitment, to bring you a professional product, at least in the best way I can do. But more important, the content. I try to bring you news and views that normally you'll never find out in many other commercial stations or other type of media. So that's my only goal. And the goal is not to freak you out, is not to say, oh my God, no. It's to try to be aware of things, so in a way maybe we can avoid bad things, because once we are aware, we can find a way to fix problems. That's the only reason. And as I said, I'm not perfect. I'm sure there are a lot of things I may learn, and I will learn from you guys, so help me out, and you got my email. You can go to my website, lovegunsfreedom.com. There is my email on my homepage, and shoot me an email. There is some topic you want to touch, or if there is something you want to talk to me on the show, we will do it. As I said, I invite especially people who disagree with me. All I care, we are respectful, no bad language, FCC approve, of course, and no violence. Simple as that, and then we can pretty much go even laugh at each other. We can even say strong things. I have no problem to call you a Nazi if you're a Nazi. You can call me whatever you want. That's fine, but we're still civil, okay? That's my point. Now, a little bit about the sponsorship. As you know, guys, I do not really count so much on commercial sponsors. Of course, they're always welcome, but I count on the people like you, listeners, because this is the best way I can preserve the freedom of speech in my work. And as I said, I'm not going to get rich here with this show. I'm just trying to pay the basic expenses. My time is pretty much for free. I appreciate it if you can support my effort going to one of my websites. One of them, for example, is zanna.us. ZANNA.US. And you can download any of my songs. Even just one song for 99 cents would really help, okay? It's like you offer me a coffee. And that's pretty much all I'm going to say. Regarding KTOX, so far I'm happy to be on the air here. They gave me the opportunity to rebroadcast my show. This is my own personal produced show, but KTOX has been the radio pretty much started me up to give a chance to put it on the air. Of course, the internet, I'm on the internet on Guerrilla Media Network, as you know, and I really appreciate the help and the opportunity. So, I don't know, honestly, how long I'm going to last on KTOX, because this is not up to me, There is a new owner, and I've never met him. I'm sure he's a great guy, but, hey, I talk about this type of topics, and I'm not apologetic about it. I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe the owner want to change format. It's up to him. But I have to do what I have to do. I'm not here to try to please everybody. I'm just trying here to bring you what I believe is true and what I believe is right, according to me. And the most important thing for me, when I see something that it's evil, I have, even with my imperfections, I think I have the duty to stand up and say something's wrong. That's all I'm trying to do here. That's simple as that. Now, as I said, after the interview with Mark Taylor, the next part, there is something a little more fun, part of my love situation. This is the hour about love. Normally I also put recipe and the serenade. You already got the serenade that when I sang before for the Obamanoids. Hopefully you enjoy it. And the recipe of today, or today's recipe, it's about something different. I'm not going to cook pasta for you today. I will cook chicken. I have a chicken recipe directly from my grandmother, Maria. Late grandmother, unfortunately, is gone years ago when I already left to America. Anyway, my grandmother is the woman that pretty much gave me the inspiration and the joy to cook. I learned from her how to make pasta from scratch, how to make the pizza, how to make bread, and of course, she was a great cook also with fish and chicken. And today I will show you the basic, very simple recipe how to cook chicken with two basic ingredients. One is white wine, and the other one, it's with the rosemary and garlic, okay? So very simple chicken, just get the good ingredients. Now, another important thing, guys, freedomlovers.us. You know this site. It's free. I created it as an act of love. You don't need to go there to get horny. I want you to go there to find, of course, if you want to get horny, that's nothing wrong with that, but go there on freedomlovers.us, most important, to find like-minded, freedom-loving people. Even if you already are married or you are engaged or whatever, this is not just for singles. It's also for people that want to network, trade, exchange ideas, post videos, post photos, create a community. Let's know each other. That's the goal. So I spent a lot of money for that. Please, just use it. freedomlovers.us. And I invite you also to post your videos, photos, blog, everything you can. And maybe, who knows, you're going to find also the great single that you deserve. Okay, guys, so right now, pretty much, this is the story. If you don't hear from me next Sunday on KTOX, maybe something happened. And don't forget, you can always reach me on the website. That's the best way. And also my website, there are all the archives show that's in the beginning. Go to lovegunsfreedom.com. And now, ready for Mark Taylor, directly from Nevada, Mesquite, in the middle of nowhere, pretty much, at the Bundy's Ranch. He came down all the way from Colorado, and we'll talk a little bit about guns, freedom, and also his personal drama. This young man, he was shot when he was 16, over 6 or 7 times, and he was left on the ground as dead, or at least, the bad people, they thought he was dead. And that's probably what saved his life. Okay, guys, be ready. Don't turn it down and turn it up, because this is something very serious, and it's also about love. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Lucas Zanna. Don't go away.
Have you ever met someone on an online dating site and thought, wow, this guy is perfect for me, or she is simply amazing, only to find out they were hiding a deep, dark secret? They plan to vote for Hillary. freedomlovers.us was created for singles who want to exchange ideas and a love for freedom. People who are looking for solutions to create and defend freedom in the real world, and at the same time getting that once-in-a-lifetime chance to find their true soulmate. Whether you are interested in meeting your soulmate, making new friends, networking, or hanging out with that like-minded liberty lover, visit freedomlovers.us. It's the first free dating site and community. So patriots, don't waste your time with other dating sites. freedomlovers.us is the place where like-minded singles really click.
Here we go. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Lucas Zanna on Guerrilla Media Network. And I have here with me my friend Ken from Michigan. Always give me great update and a great, by the way, guest. I want to thank you, Ken. You've always been so helpful for the show. Maybe I never thank you enough. You brought me the opportunity to bring to our public, to our listeners, great guests like William Binney. And, of course, now to have a great guest, too, that I'm really curious to meet him, Mark Taylor. How are you, Ken?
I'm fine, and thanks for the kind words, Luca.
Thank you, because it's true. This is a show made with the help of the people. I'm here, I'm just a regular guy. There is not a big production. I do it all, guys. I try to find a guest. I try to put a show together. I try to edit it, send it out, spread it out. And I appreciate every one of you listeners' help. So, Ken, I really appreciated that. Any updates? We didn't talk in a while, Ken. Any update from your side? What's going on with your life? And more important, where are you right now? I know you are in a special place.
I'm at the Bundy Ranch right now, and Mark Taylor wanted to come back and meet Mr. Bundy, and we got him in there yesterday and got some pictures of him. And with Mr. Bundy this morning, we went down and took pictures with Carol Bundy. So,
perfect.
And she's also one of my heroes. So
very good. And let's say to the public, let's remind to the public who is Mark Taylor, because maybe just a name, but he's a very important guy that went through a lot of hell. And please tell us more about Mark Taylor.
Mark Taylor was one of the first victims that got shot at Columbine, and when he got out, he sued the pharmaceuticals because then the kids that did the shooting was on drugs.
Wow!
And he won $10,000. He beat the pharmaceuticals for $10,000. He donated that money to charity in the name of his aunt that died of cancer, and then he wrote a book. And then after that, they came after him and they got him in a facility now. And we was able to get him out for 3 days so he could come to Bundy Ranch with us and get to meet a bunch of good people and Mr. Bundy and Miss Bundy. So it's very good.
Very good. I want to talk to him very soon. So I'd like to talk to him about his experience and also what he thinks about guns and gun control. That would be interesting, very interesting talk. Now, before I go with Mark, any updates? What's happened the last few days at the Bundys? Is something special going on?
Not much. People are starting to come in today, so I went down this morning and drove around. There's quite a few new people, so hoping we'll get a good turnout. And at 3:30 night, they're going to kick the party off. Miss Bundy says she made 500 hamburger patties already. So
wow! So today is the party, right? The anniversary, the Friday.
Yeah, today and actually tomorrow both. They're going to celebrate it. So
I remember, it was Saturday, the day that we went down in the canyon, correct?
Yeah, that's where me and you first met. We both right at the front gate together.
1 year ago, my friend. Time goes by so fast, and I tell you, I still have the memories so fresh in my mind. And I'm sorry I couldn't be there this weekend, but with my spirit and my soul, I'm there. But more important now, it's not anymore about us. It's every American should understand that we must do what we can, not to defend just the Bundys, but to defend any one of us rights, because this is going to happen to any one of us. Now, any presence of a BLM or helicopters or undercover police or sheriff deputies? Anything going on like that?
No, I haven't noticed them, but of course you probably won't notice them, but I'm sure they're going to be here, to take notes about what we're doing, but that's okay. As long as they're peaceful, we're peaceful.
Very good. Excellent. That's the idea. We are peaceful, they're peaceful. Now, I think we should go with Mark Taylor. I'm very anxious to talk to him. Is he there?
He's here. Hang on a minute. Mark, this is Lucas on. I'm going to turn you over to him. Hello?
Mark, nice talking to you. How are you?
Good.
Very good. We talked yesterday briefly, and today you're on the air. We're here with on the air with Lucas Zanna on Love, Guns, and Freedom. And first of all, I want to say thank you for being who you are. You're a courageous man. I read about you. What happened in Columbine, I wasn't around there in America. Here, I was still in Italy, but I heard about that. And please, can you tell me a little bit about you? Where are you from, exactly?
I'm from Colorado.
Okay, and right now you are in Nevada, and you came here to support the Bundys, I guess, correct? Did you drive all the way? How did you came all the way down?
We drove down here.
Okay, excellent. So you're having a good time? Are you enjoying your time there?
Yeah.
Good. Did you meet Mr. Bundy already?
Good food. Good food.
So what happened? Did you speak with Mr. Bundy? I know Mr. Bundy, Clive Bundy is your hero, you said.
Yes, he is.
What do you like about him?
Well, he stands up for freedom.
Very good, yes. And what did you talk?
Freedom that the cops are wanting to take away from us.
You're right. I completely agree with you, my friend. And I was even born here, but in just 16 years, I saw so much changes about how they're stealing our freedom, or we let them steal it from us. Now, I don't want to go back to the past, but, listeners, they are very curious to know exactly what happened to him, because it's so important. You are the example of a man that doesn't give up, in my opinion. I read about you, and you're here to share your story, and more important, maybe to bring your real thought about this. You are one of the first survivors during the Columbine shooting, and there was a terrible experience. And I would like to ask you this, first of all. What exactly, after all these many years, do you still have fresh in your mind the horror, or you try to work with that? Did you try to pretty much remove it from you, or you still have this sort of
I tried to remove it, but I can't.
Can't.
It was such a horrible experience.
Yeah. So you were pretty much on the floor. I mean,
the surgeries that I went through are just as bad as getting shot.
Oh my gosh, 10 shots?
I got 7 shots 7 times.
Shot 7 times, and you were laying on the floor. You thought you were dead.
I fell to the ground.
Yeah, you were on the ground, and you thought that you were dead. I mean, you were conscious, or you were trying to fake it, to be smart, to try to let them go through. What happened to you exactly when you were on the ground?
I fell to the ground. I didn't move because I was afraid the bullets might damage things.
Wow. So you were conscious. conscious.
So the cops came and got me and took me to triage.
Wow. This is something that I have to describe. I don't think anybody can understand it till it goes through, but at least we are listening from your words. Now, how long did it take you to recover from your shots, your 7 shots, to completely be back on your feet?
I'm still recovering from it.
Wow. So, but
once you get shot, you never get over it.
Yeah, I understand. I can understand.
Yeah, it created so many problems for me. I had a pus inside of my chest all over. Mm-hmm. So they had to install these tubes in me to suck the pus out.
Oh my God.
And so that surgery was horrible. I was awake when they put them in, and that was horrible.
Wow.
That was horrifying.
Yeah. And I can imagine the pain. I mean, physically, you still have pain in your body?
Yeah, I do.
Wow. And also,
doctors say I'll probably have arthritis for the rest of my life.
Oh my God. I know that also you were a very courageous man to try with your family to point out the responsible, at least the partial responsible, because, of course, at the end of the day, who pulled the trigger is the person that did the job, okay, the evil act. But also there is a fact that the media tried to hide this big pharmaceutical mafia, I call it. I mean, all these psychodrugs, they give away pretty much like water. And they're so concerned about our guns, but at the same time, they never try to correlate it. Every type of this sort of evil acts, they're always connected to these psychodrugs. You were suing the pharmaceutical company that pretty much was, the distributor and the producer of this product that these 2 evil guys were taking, correct?
Yeah.
And how ended up this lawsuit?
I won the lawsuit, but I gave the money to a cancer society.
Yes, I was aware of that. And also, you wrote a book, right?
Yeah.
What is the name of the book? Because I think I would really want to buy one copy. What is the name of the book? I
Asked God to answer the Columbine miracle.
Wow, okay. Very good. And by the way, if I remember, the name of the company was, the antidepressant was Luvox, if I'm correct.
Yeah, there was Solvay.
Okay. Solvay Pharmaceutical, that's the company. All right, listen.
Yeah, Solvay Pharmaceutical.
So you're still going through physical problems and, of course, post-traumatic stress problem. I mean, military people, without even getting shot, they got PTSD. I mean, PTSD problem. Imagine when you get shot like that, especially at such a young age. How old you were when you got shot? How old you were?
I was 16.
So you were a young man. I pray for you, my friend. I pray for you. And, my show, it's about, of course, rights, freedom, truth.
Google Mark Taylor, John DeCamp.
Okay. I'll do that.
And you'll find some information about it.
I'll do that. Okay. Interesting. And what is your position on gun control, if I can ask you?
I think Americans should have freedom to have their guns.
Mm-hmm. And
we have a militia that has weapons that our U.S. government doesn't have.
Yeah. And question, what do you think about, in the Columbine school at that time, was a gun-free zone or not at that time?
It was a gun-free zone, I think.
Yeah, it was a gun-free zone.
Was gun-free zone? Yeah, it was.
Yes. Under Clinton, every school pretty much in the States was a gun-free zone. But that's the point, and I try to explain that to some people that still think that, a sign, just posting a sign outside their facility, like a school or a building, is going to stop the evil people. That's all it does is a magnet to attract evil people, because they know that before help is on the way, they can pretty much commit any type of evil crimes and kill as many as they can and murder as many as they can. That's exactly...
If you want, you can type in my name and you'll get Michael Moore.
Yes. What do you think about Michael Moore? What happened with him?
Push Mark Taylor and Michael Moore, and you have an article about me with Michael Moore.
I know that he interviewed you about his documentary, but yes, you have something to say about him. I think he didn't do a good job. Did he try to distort your wars?
Huh?
Did he try to distort your wars? Did he try to use you as a pawn for his movie, for his documentary?
I think he has his own agenda.
He has his own agenda. Very good. I will check it out. I already put in Google Mark Taylor, Michael Moore, and, I think everybody should take a look, because I hate when people use tragedies for their own personal agendas, and in this case, it's the agenda to pretty much deny the basic human rights of self-defense to the American people. Anything you would like to say, I give you the floor. Whatever you want to say, your dreams, what you would like to, whatever you want to say, I give you the floor.
Well, I want to be a pastor.
Okay. So you're ready?
When I go to school, to become a pastor.
Very good, very good. What type of, Christian, Baptist, what type of, what type of church would you like to have? Just Christ?
Assembly of God.
Okay.
Or non-denominational. Either one.
Okay, very good, very good. You let me know, please, when you become a pastor. I like to listen to some of your sermons, okay?
Okay.
I would love that. So listen, I want to say thank you very much, first of all, to driving all the way to the Bundys. And more important, thank you very much for sharing your story, okay? And also to let us know what you think about guns and gun control. And more important, thank you for being strong and to share this nightmare with the rest of us, so we can understand that when, unfortunately, it's not just the gun, the problem, because the problem is the human being that can be good or evil. The gun is just an instrument. And more important, who is behind the human being beside evil? Is there also a pharmaceutical drug that could create some sort of a mind control in that operation? That's something we should investigate always. Thank you, Mark. I really appreciate it.
Dream about a family that I never had, and maybe I never will. Dream about some peace of mind that's just a dream. Dream about you and your love that's gone away. Like to have two wings, fly away from this pain. Like to have two wings so I won't go insane. Like to have two wings to get back and see your eyes. Never leave you alone anymore. before I'll find another one like you. Dream about a man that you can call daddy. Dream about somebody that you can call a friend. I'd like to have two wings to fly away from this pain. I'd like to have two wings so I won't go insane. I'd like to have two wings, oh I can't wait to see your eyes. Oh baby.
Here we go, you're listening to Love, Guns and Freedom with Luca Zanna, and right now we are broadcasting, I am broadcasting from my own kitchen. Guess what? Today, no pasta. Different recipe. By the way, my kiddies are getting crazy because they're getting hungry. Gigi, are you there? You want some food? Guess what? Today I'm going to shock you. No pasta, but I will cook chicken. Chicken in a way that pretty much reminds me the way my grandmother, late grandmother from Italy, she used to cook for me when I was in Italy. And exactly, her name was Maria. So this is I call it chicken Maria's style, okay? Or grandmother's Maria style. First of all, we need a pan, okay? Here we go. Beautiful cast iron pan. Then we need extra virgin olive oil. Already have it. About probably 2 or 3 spoons. Then we need some garlic, okay? Fresh garlic. Try to grow your own garlic. As I said, the ingredients, we need to get good ingredients. The best ingredients make the best food. My cat is already going crazy. Anyway, so we got probably 3 or 4 garlic cloves. Cut them in half. At least the flavor is going to start to really go out. And then, very important, what we need to do here, we need the main ingredient, chicken. Now, let me explain something about the chicken. You can get every chicken you want, of course, but, you need to get good stuff, because, I'm sorry, better eat a little less than eat garbage. So get organic chicken if you can, okay? Now, put the fire low, very low, okay? And I already put the garlic with the oil, okay? So it's ready to go. You want to pretty much warm up the oil on low temperature, and you put the garlic. Now, when the oil is hot, what you do, you get pretty much the chicken pieces, like right now I'm doing. One for me, one for my cat Gigio, one for my cat Gina. Now, another one for me, and another one for me. So I am the alpha cat. I eat more. Okay? So right now, what's happening here? We have the chicken in the pan, and it's frying. Okay, but technically we're not frying. We are just cooking the chicken in the pan. Be sure that you open the chicken nicely. Okay. So you can pretty much face the surface of the pan in an even way. Now, what I do here is so simple. Sea salt. And I'm talking about sea salt, not just some garbage chemical salt. Okay, you need these ingredients. Sea salt, sprinkle around on one side, and a little bit of ground pepper. Stay here. One second here. Okay. So now I'm pretty much cooking the first side, okay, of the chicken. There are 2 sides. We start with the first one. You want to completely be sure that it's no more pink. Now, meanwhile, the final 2 ingredients that we need is so simple but so great, okay? We need white wine, okay? Get some good organic. You don't need to put organic on this one. Just get decent white wine. Stay away from the cardboard wine, please. Get it in glass, okay? But before we go there, let's finish what we're doing. So we got the first side pretty much almost ready, at least the first stage. Now we switch it, we flip it, okay? So we have flipping the chicken on the other side. And what we do here, we repeat the operation with salt and pepper. You don't want to put too much salt, but you want to be sure it's on both sides, okay? Otherwise, it's not going to work. Same story with pepper. Okay. Now, guess what? You want to be sure that both sides start to become looking like exteriorly cooked. That means inside is not cooked yet, but at least outside is no more pink, okay? That's very important, because you want to start to make them a little crispy, okay? Now, at that point, the other two ingredients I was talking to you about, one is wine, white wine. By the way, this could work also with Marsala wine. It's very good. And just today I want to use white wine, okay? It's more classic. And then the second thing I need is rosemary. Get some fresh rosemary. And if you have a little vase, instead of growing flowers, there's some time, you can grow flowers too if you want, but grow herbs that normally you would buy at the grocery, and they charge you so much, and they normally you know where they're from. No, you don't know where they're from. They may be from everywhere, and probably they stink. Okay, so get a good vase and start to grow your own herbs. It's fun. So get some nice rosemary. What we need here, probably about 2 or 3 little branches of rosemary. And what I do now, I'm going to start to put the rosemary right now into the pan with the chicken. And, be sure that you put the chicken, the rosemary, really between the chicken, okay? So it's going to get really the flavor. So important. So this is a very simple meal, but you will realize how beautiful, how delicious it tastes, okay? Now, the final ingredient, we put the rosemary. The chicken starts to become pretty much the way we want it. Both sides looks like it's still cooked, but remember, still at least another 10 minutes to go, okay? What we do, we get a glass of wine. In this case, I'm using the white wine, okay? And you just pour it in. Okay, you can hear that beautiful sound, okay? So what's happening now? The wine, it's helping the chicken to cook, first of all, but also to get the flavor, and it's going to get much more tender, okay? And the 3 basic ingredients that we have here, the flavors, is of course chicken. So if you got good chicken, you're going to have a good meal, okay? But more important, we have the spices, the rosemary, and let's not forget the garlic. It's a very powerful flavor, okay? Especially now mixed with the white wine, that, by the way, you don't want to leave there. You want to be sure that this wine pretty much shrink. It gets shrunk, become pretty much condensed, become like a sauce, okay? So technically, they would call this chicken alla cacciatora, that means the hunter way. But I would call it chicken at grandmother Maria style. It was my grandmother from my mother's side. And she used to cook a lot for me when I was a child in Italy. And I like pretty much everything she used to cook for me. She's the one who taught me how to make pizza, how to make pasta. I still remember the day I said, Grandmother, please help me out. I want to learn how to make pasta, homemade pasta, like fettuccine, like lasagna. I said, why you want to learn that? Because one day I want to go to America, and I want to have a job. I want to make pizza and pasta. Do you believe that? I still remember the day I was a young teenager, and I was already planning to come here to be a big pain in the butt, huh? Can you believe that? Anyway, my friend little kitty Gigio is very mad because dinner is late, and but he needs to be patient a little bit. After all, this cat is eating better than a human being, okay? He's with me. So, chicken is cooking. What you do here, you want to be sure, first of all, that the chick is cooked evenly, even inside. So once in a while, open it inside, just to be sure there are no pink parts. And also you want to be sure that the wine pretty much almost disappears, but it leaves behind some sort of a sauce, like a beautiful, depends on how much you want to make it dense, okay? I make it in a way that is going to look like a sauce. It's going to be like a wine sauce. So that pretty much was the recipe of today's Sunday with Luca Zanna on Love, Guns, and Freedom. This is the final hour of the show, and really appreciate you listening. And as I said, we fight, we try to do our duty as human beings and as Americans, exposing evil and corruption. At the same time, we are human beings, and we must enjoy a little bit of life, because the motto is, rest tonight and fight another day tomorrow. Meanwhile, let's have a little fun. So, let me just open a bottle of wine. Since we are in this white mood, I will open a beautiful organic wine bottle just to celebrate alla faccia di Obama. That means, on the face of Obama and all these traitors, Bush included, by the way. Don't forget him, okay? Don't get me wrong. So guys, let me go. So don't go away, and maybe a little song here, just to enjoy a little bit my little dinner. Okay, Gigi, it's almost done. Don't be mad. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. Okay, this is the end of the show. You've been listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. I want to thank you for your patience and also for your help and for your support. I count on you on spreading the word about the show And also, I count on you to support me. I don't count really on regular sponsors. As you can hear, my type of information is kind of controversial, or at least it's something that normally regular commercial stations wouldn't carry that easy, okay? So the best way to keep truth going, and the more important, unfiltered news, and I bring you facts, and I give you also my opinion, of course, and you can make up your opinion. But please, if you want to support the show to stay free, go to www.zanna.us. Download any of my songs for just 99 cents, less than the price of a coffee, just one. And doing that, you can keep the show going. I appreciate your support from the bottom of my heart, and God's willing, I will see you. I will talk to you next Sunday. Ciao. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Gianluca Zanna on Guerrilla Media Network.